for those of us on YouTube, tonight we will be reading, or continuing to read, Uchiha Heiress Remix. For a brief... I wouldn't call it debilitating, but yes, for anyone who is not on Discord, the reason I haven't streamed for so long is because 3 months ago, I got hit by a car. Fun, right? Yes, I got in a fight with Truck-kun and won. I won because I dealt more damage to the car than the car dealt to me. But yeah, for a recap of last time, a brief recap of last time, Naruto has been learning from the Kyubi within the seal. And like he's only been learning, like it's still within the week in between graduation and team assignments. So he's and he only met Naruto only met the Kyubi after the Mizuki incident. And in that time, he got good enough that after confronting Sasuke about hiding something and smelling like a girl, Naruto was able to completely kick Sasuke's ass. And in the middle of the fight, Naruto sent out an attack so strong that he tore off Sasuke's clothes, revealing that Sasuke was in fact a girl. They went back to Sasuke's apartment because in this, Sasuke was not forced to live in the Uchiha district after losing his entire clan. He got his own apartment, or her own apartment, where she told him that yes, she's always been a girl, and revealed, as Noah predicted, that her real name is Satsuki. Yes. And Naruto was going to just go tell the Hokage, because, I mean, why not? Until Satsuki revealed that the reason she hid her gender is because of the Clan Restoration Act. Fuck, I forgot about that. Where when applied in this story, when applied to a girl, she is reduced to mere breeding stock and not allowed to leave the village. That's too logical to apply in a fan fiction like this. It's actually Satsuki. It's not Sasuke. How do you know? Anyway, after all of those reveals, Satsuki decided to invite Naruto to stay over at her apartment. And they slept in the same bed, if I recall correctly. Please don't say that again, Mandalore. Yes, that phrasing is all too common in Naruto fanfiction. But if you're not actually reading it, please don't say it.
Usually I can see old enough to not old enough to drink. I don't know what kind of fucked up fanfics you're reading, Dad.
Yeah, and then they have the scene where he drinks the sake and then spits it out. They have
The funny thing is, the drinking thing is just patently not true because there are real, like, biological reasons why you shouldn't do that.
Anyway, the next day,
It's not an argument about the age of consent in the fucking elemental nation.
that all of that recap was chapter 1. We started chapter 2, and chapter 2 started from the Hokage's point of view, where we learned that, of course, the Hokage already knew about Satsuki's secret. I mean, that's the most logical thing that the fic has ever done, because
no, because she wouldn't have had to worry about the Clan Restoration Act as a kid. People would as a girl.
Unless she needs to worry about it. Maybe, like, you know, everyone thinks that she's transitioned, which is very nice.
anyway, I forget the details of what went on beyond that, because that's the only important thing, because it's the only decent thing that has happened. We got back to Naruto and Satsuki in her apartment. Naruto woke up early to take a shower, and Satsuki woke up with him gone and got depressed. And then Satsuki decided that it was time for her to go take a shower.
Oh, what a shock.
And walked in to the bathroom as Naruto was walking out in only a towel. Oh god, Skeletal Dog 77 on YouTube says Satsuki calls Hiruzen daddy.
I mean, let's be honest, you know, Japanese culture. Ugly bastard in somewhere.
It was in the bathroom encounter that we learned just how much of a pervert the Kyubi really is.
Oh yeah.
Let's find one of the things he said.
Oh god.
She got a nice ass, huh? Oh yeah, for those who missed the first stream for some reason, the Kyubi has a southern accent.
I forgot which one of us insisted on it.
Someone insisted on it, and I ran with it.
I think we made him like ultra Confederate, and then no one fucking the South will rise again. You with the fucking hats.
Yeah.
Let's find.
I missed the first reading of this, so all this is new to me.
Ha ha ha!
It's alright, man.
It's official. You hit puberty. Though it seems the Uchiha went through it way before you did with her rack.
God damn it.
Oh God!
Oh gosh, what the fuck? Are they still like 12?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, yeah, so, like,
The
okay,
fic did not age up the characters.
So the Kyubi is not only southern, he's also a pedophile.
Yes.
Like, damn, that's 2 strikes.
And Myth, you can't age them up like you did Gabriel in King of Magic.
It's Gabrielle.
Excuse you, it's Gabrielle.
And I didn't age her up. I just decided that it wasn't that Gabrielle. It was Gabrielle from Xena. Willful ignorance is willful ignorance. And oh god, I forgot how often Naruto says this.
What is? Oh no!
Datebayo. Say it.
Databayo.
He doesn't even say that 10 times in the series.
Believe it.
Databane. Meanwhile, Sasuke's like,
Like he said it a lot in the original game.
He didn't really say it a lot.
It's probably just the English dub with the lip flap making up for words or something.
The English dub, he doesn't ever say that. He just says, believe it.
The English dub often, sucks.
I wouldn't have been
It does, yeah.
I realized I've been unmuted. I fucking hate Taco Bell, especially Kentucky Taco Bell.
Oh, Smurf is here.
Yeah.
yes, Smurf. I'll be back in 5
I'm
minutes with
gonna
tamales
sit
because
down
Smurf
and
talks
make
about
potatoes.
Mexican food made me hungry.
Now, Smurf, is this fit gonna give you ideas for Invictus?
I mean, he already has the Restoration Act in
He
his.
told me he's lifting the entire last half of Invictus from this fic. You're just like, damn, this is the best fic I've ever seen in my life.
Thou shalt not lie, cat.
Ah, there's where we are.
I'll be back.
Going
Oh, God.
fuck cat, huh?
Oh god, skeletal dog. Again. Kurama-chan
What?
isn't a chick in this? Kyubi-chan is like a key staple in these fics.
I mean, he's not wrong, but you're
He's
not
not.
that far into the fic yet.
Oh god.
QB-chan can still happen.
We're already breaking myth.
Oh god. Okay. The recap is done. So now let's dive in after 20 minutes to actually reading the fic.
And let us meet QB-chan.
Meanwhile, back inside the bathroom, Satsuki started the water again as she held the towel tightly to cover her naked body from exposure. After it finally filled up, she released the towel and went into the tub. After letting out a sigh of relief over the warm water soaking her body, she began to gather her thoughts of everything that had happened last night, all the way to right now. That was when a realization coming to her. Kun. I called Naruto that at the end of his name, she muttered as a small blush adored her face.
I called him Kun.
Her father had always told her that honorifics were to be used with the utmost care, and that using them in the wrong circumstance could mean a lot of trouble for the family. Though most Uchihas almost never use such honorifics to those they don't deem worthy, they still were very careful when using them. Though she never liked that aspect, she still understood that about always being careful with honorifics. But after only one night with someone she thought she hated after acting like Sasuke for so long, she didn't know what to do now. As Satsuki was still sitting down in the warm waters, she soon began to look at the ceiling. More precisely at the window that was in the middle as the steam escaped from it. As she stared at the clear blue sky. Why did I ask him to stay with me for the night? She then suddenly asked, wondering what came to her when she made that request. Then she remembered the way Naruto told her that he would help keep her secret. This made her hug her legs close to her chest. Why do I feel as though I can trust him? And why do I feel so safe around him? It was never like that before, Satsuki thought in realization as a light pink blush appearing on her cheeks, while more thoughts of the blonde boy came to mind. Naruto-kun, who are you really? She then unintentionally asked to herself as she placed one hand to her heart, while she kept thinking of Naruto. She's already falling for him, guys. She's already she's already clutching her heart in thought at the thought of him.
Yeah.
I really hate the phrase, who are you really? So many people use it.
Back at Satsuki's room, Naruto was looking through the clothes inside of Satsuki's closet as he couldn't find any he liked. Damn. No orange, he muttered while still looking for something that would match his tastes. Though as he continued to look, he realized that the main colors of Sasuke's clothes were dark blue and white. You would think, after being in class with the guy for so long, you would know that his theme is dark blue and white.
We are talking about the guy who thought chakra was katra after like 6 years of school, so...
Yes, but he actually paid attention to Sasuke.
Point.
Yeah.
After a...
Today.
What were you saying?
Nothing.
After a bit of looking through the clothes, his eyes widened a bit. Oh. Naruto got out as he pulled out a black leather jacket. This'll do, I guess.
A black leather.
Yes.
I thought he wanted orange.
Naruto's turning into a punk already. He decided as he then eventually did found something. Jackpot! He said with excitement as he found an orange undershirt. So he decided to wear that and a pair of black jeans. On his feet, he wore black ninja sandals.
When did the Elemental Nations get jeans?
Goal completed.
Right now, I guess.
At least they didn't swap out the sandals for steel-toed boots like most people do.
After he was finished putting on everything, he looked at himself in a mirror that was in the room. Now, Naruto may not be a very fashionable guy, but even he knew this looked good. Not bad, Tetabayo, he admitted with a smirk as he left and headed to the living room area. When Naruto arrived at the living room of Satsuki's apartment, he found a discarded black headband on the table and tied it around his head. I hope Satsuki-chan won't mind. I'll give it back
I'm
later.
glad I just came back with alcohol, because I'm going to need a drink to get through this.
Hey, me seeing the albino skunk was a sign. Like, as you're reading that, I was... Just look what I put in the chat.
It's like
as you're
a
reading this
fucking Native American spirit animal, but a lot shittier.
Yeah, that's my spirit animal. My
The
symbol
Indianian
is-
spirit animal.
No,
For
that's
those
my
wondering
symbol.
what Smurf is talking about, he posted it on Discord. I just did something supremely stupid. I chased down an albino skunk because I was wondering what the fuck I just saw. And then...
I mean, honestly, it's per my expectations for someone who tried to go literally head to fucking wood with the damn couch. Fucking.
And then
And that's
answering
his
Skeletal
fault.
Dog 77 from YouTube, he asks if I've read any of Jordanio's fics, and the answer is no.
Maybe Skeletal, maybe Myth will read one of
No.
Jordanio's fics. if
The-
you finish
the answer
reading
is not
Friday
no.
Night Gamma fic of yours.
The answer is not yet.
Does he write cringe content? If the answer is yes, then indeed my answer is not yet.
He's that guy who Thunder almost kicked like a few months ago for the.
Oh no, I know who he is. I just haven't read any of his stuff.
Kicked for what?
He just went on like a fucking anti-trans rant at one point.
Ah.
Man, I just found a way to make Star Wars good. Or put it in its fiction group.
Impossible.
I will not be able to see it for a bit because I'm driving.
All right. Back
He's
to the
right.
fic.
Ate it good.
He thought, not wanting her to think he was a thief. I mean, you just took something without permission.
Holy
That's what
shit!
a
I heard
thief
said something.
is. Once he did that, he then got an idea. I'll send some clones out to go and train. He then decided as he made 15 clones, alright guys, get to the usual training spot and train your asses off. After a couple of hours of training, dispel yourself one at a time. Got it? He ordered. The clones then saluted to him. You got it, boss, they said in unison. One by one, they headed out the window and headed for the training ground. In the seal, the Kyubi scoffed at this. You wouldn't even have known about this had I not told you about that jutsu hidden ability, he retorted. This made Naruto remembered when the Kyubi had told him.
The
Flashback
only reason
no
that
jutsu!
ability,
God damn it.
Really?
the only reason that ability was hidden was, well, out of universe because he hadn't written it yet, but mostly because Naruto is an
It's
idiot
stupid.
that didn't realize it. How do you not realize you have the memories of someone shoving their hand through your face?
Also, Flashback no Jutsu makes its grand year appearance. I forgot that
Yes,
this was a thing.
I forgot how often Flashback no Jutsu happened last time.
You know who else does flashbacks? Smurf.
Writer ever.
Naruto was sitting down in the middle of the training field, thinking over all the jutsus he just got. Practicing, eating, mastering my new jutsu, air bullet, mud wall, beast wave palm that Kyubi gave me, and exploding clone. Naruto listed off all the jutsu. So many things to do, Databayo. He then groaned out. Now don't get him wrong. He loves learning new jutsus. It's just he didn't even know where to even begin at learning them. Alright, I guess I'll start with the air bullet, Naruto decided as he went to read the instructions of said jutsu he copied from the scroll. It was simple enough. Gathered both regular and wind chakra inside of his lungs, and then expelled condensed bullets. Simple
Isn't he
enough.
still in Sasuke's house?
This is a flashback.
Oh, cool.
Flashback no jutsu. Simple enough, he said with an obvious tone, not even knowing just how hard this jutsu was for a Genin. Little dumbass. The Kyubi then remarked in annoyance as he waited for the inevitable. Naruto began to take a few deep breaths to get his lungs extended as it was a tip the scroll recommended.
The inevitable instant mastery.
After he was done, he did a small nod. Alright, let's get this jutsu done, Databayo. He cheered as he began to make the necessary hand signs and sent his normal chakra in his throat and tried to condense it without wind chakra. Here we go! Wind style air bullet, he thought to himself as he then tried to expel the condensed chakra from his throat, only for it to expand instead. Ah! He shouted in pain as he fell to his knees and could feel his throat ready to explode as he then fell on his face. The Kyubi then began laughing at the results. He knew that would happen.
Let me just remind you guys, this is what the Kyubi looks like. Put the image in the
Yes, that is. Let me pop it up on my screen for YouTube to see. This is the
chat. No, the Kyubi is a proud son of the South.
The South will rise again.
I forgot that he has whips.
Rifle, pike, and saber two arms. Who harms
Same.
and dignity.
All right, I've got to go get a drink. I'll be right back.
God damn it.
Alright, who wants to bet that at some point in this fucking fic, if they haven't already, they're gonna say, "Oh, the shadow clones, you can do so much for a woman with that jutsu."
Oh, I'm still expecting the you can do paperwork.
Peach.
Yeah, haven't. What?
Was it that 40K crossover to make Star Wars good?
All
It
right,
was,
I'm
yeah.
back.
If so, go get run over by a rabid bull.
I mean, nothing
It feels
can
like
make
you
Star Wars
changed your
good.
fucking-
It's
what you
What?
would say.
Did I just miss?
So I put in a picture that would make Star Wars so much better, and Mandalore is getting butthurt over it.
Ito, what are you blaming me for?
Oh no, I think he's blaming me. I don't know.
He said he blames this VC and
Clash of
blaming me.
Clans. He called himself Naruto-kun or some shit. I don't know. I don't play Clash.
Ito,
play
I mean,
Clash.
Peach is easy.
Ito, you only have yourself to blame.
That is true.
How come you never talk, Ida?
Oh, he talks.
Because I never
Amazon is-
unmute him.
I mean that, but also Amazon ground down his will to live, so now he talks finally.
Then, after a few minutes of waiting for his throat to heal, Naruto decided to try out another jutsu. "Let's try something that isn't from inside my body," he said with a sore throat. He went to the second one on the list. "Let's try the mud wall," he decided as he began to read the instruction the old man gave him. The user must mold his earth chakra on his arms and then place them on the ground. Then, using the concentrated chakra, the user will force an earth table to come upwards to create a shield. He read as again he shrugged. "Simple enough," he said again. "Why do I feel a pattern coming?" Kyubi then commented with a chuckle. Naruto
I
soon
forgot that
began.
this pic had fucking cover art. You like unique cover art. It's still like so fucking weird, man.
Yes.
It's so weird.
Yeah, the unique cover art is also included in the thumbnail for the YouTube video, by the way. That's where this came from. It is the cover art for Uchiha Heiress Remix. We've got Naruto, female Sasuke, and Hinata. And-
Naruto photoshopped onto Shiro from Fate.
And for some reason, a green-haired Sakura with Orochimaru's
She's turning
curse mark.
Irish.
You'll see eventually, probably, why she looks like that.
Dude, it's obvious that she has the fucking curse seal on. You can see it.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the curse seal, but the green hair is what's confusing.
Actually, what's confusing me is why Satsuki has the shroud.
That I was trying to ignore that, but yes, that is a thing too.
I assume that, considering what I know is coming up in this fic, after fucking Naruto a few times, she just permanently has like a lot of his chakra inside her, so she can just go into Kyubi.
Yeah, he injected his chakra inside it.
Kyubi is a sexually transmitted disease.
I want to know the logic for why Orochimaru would consider Sakura worthy of the curse seal.
There is none. Fuck you.
I'm gonna go out on a wild limb here.
Shrunken Kubikiri Bocho.
I'm gonna go out on a wild limb here, and the answer is bashing.
That's a pretty thick limb.
How
I bet-
how would that
I
be
bet,
bashing though?
Because
she's
it's
a bad person?
it's setting Sakura up to be a stupid antagonist that the author can feel good about bashing. That's my assumption, anyway.
I mean, if Sakura was good enough to catch Orochimaru's attention, that wouldn't be bashing. That would be raising her up.
I realized I was fucking muted. God damn it.
Good job, Smurf.
I'm just responding to you guys saying that I know every single reason for why
Yes, because you read
Satsuki
this.
has the yes. I
Smurf.
had faith in this motherfucker that he could write something better after what 100,000 words. It didn't get better. It did
You're
not get
telling
better.
me,
It's like a fucking abusive relationship.
Smurf, you're
3,000
telling
words
me
in,
you
surely
willingly
he can
read
get better.
this. You willingly read this without it being a cringe stream.
Yeah,
Where do you think he
well,
got
I'd
all
rather-
his
I'd rather
ideas
have-
from?
Suck my dick. I'd rather have an open casket funeral, and this was cheaper than shooting myself.
Was
Moving
it though?
Moving on.
The price was your soul.
By the way, Smurf, keep us in suspense for the reasons.
I think I already illustrated to Peach how it was done, and he did not like it when I gave him the explanation.
But that's Peach. While in
That's
the
Peach. That could
Well,
that could mean it's a good idea.
while in the stream, do not talk about it because I would like my reaction to be genuine.
You want? I almost said something, and I realized it would have been poorly worded.
Yo, DM
towards
it to
you.
me.
Never mind.
DM it to me. I want to see this. But let's continue. We must not get
Yes.
sidetracked.
By the way, getting sidetracked like this is exactly why these streams run so long, for anyone wondering.
I mean, we wouldn't be able to bear reading this without getting sidetracked.
Point.
You
Naruto
should
soon
this stream gets sidetracked. You should see my fucking streams. Holy shit.
Naruto soon began to make the hand signs and concentrate chakra to his arms. He figured since he is forcing a huge earth shield from the very earth, it should cost a lot of chakra. Alright, let's do this! Earth-style mud wall jutsu! He declared with excitement, the blonde getting smile with happiness when he started to feel the earth moving. It's working! He shouted as he thought he was a genius to make it on the first try, but whoosh! Eh?
I would like to ask you guys something. Didn't Kishimoto say that the jutsu being named in the bubbles was more of a sub-vocalization and not actually stated in the story?
I have no idea.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like something you may have said, but I don't know.
Eh? Naruto got out in confusion as he was now flying in midair, as the ground had turned into a pitfall. Ah! He shouted as he fell right into the pitfall. The Kyubi again began to laugh at the result yet again. After Naruto managed to get out of the pitfall, he was completely covered in dirt. Okay. Let's try it later, he concluded as he began to dust himself off before spitting some dirt out of his mouth. Bleh! He spat out. Once he was more or less clean enough, he went down the list again and decided to try out the Beast Wave Palm. Okay. I hope this will be easier. After all, it's a jutsu to be sent away from the user, he concluded as he then began to recall how Kyubi told him to perform the jutsu. Okay, he said that I should gather wind chakra around my hand, and then once I gather enough, I should do a vertical slash, and that should do it, he said with the Baiju told him. Wonder how I'll screw this up, Kyubi thought with a smirk. Naruto then went through the hand signs once more, as soon ended with the dog sign he gathered a lot of chakra into his hand. Wind style, beast wave palm, he declared as he did a vertical slash. Rip, tear, slash!
Is this a comic?
I feel like Myth's like grandfather walking back is walking past his room in the background. Is like, what is that boy doing?
No, I'm not at Grandpa's anymore. I am at my mom's.
Right.
He's doing his best effort because it's been so long.
Naruto stood there for a moment or two as he saw his jacket torn apart, leaving him completely shirtless. as he then felt an ungodly pain while his hand got a lot of cuts and gashes. Ah! He screamed in pain. Okay. That was my fault. Should have told him to master some of the finer points before using that one. Kyubi remarked with a sweat drop as he began to send some of his chakra to heal the wounds. After a few more moments, Naruto's hand was completely healed, thanks to the fox's chakra. Okay. Let's try the last jutsu, where I know I won't be hurt, he said as he read the final jutsu in the list.
Oh god, what is it?
If you remember when he read them off, it's the exploding clone jutsu.
I'm sure this will turn out perfectly well.
Nothing bad.
Exploding clone. This jutsu is a stronger variety of the shadow clone, where the regular clone gets double the necessary chakra, and it will condense it into its center. Then, when fully condensed, it will explode in a violent explosion. Warning, this jutsu requires even more chakra than the normal shadow clone, or risk dying from chakra exhaustion. He read the instructions. Now, this should be easier. I only have to give my clone more chakra than normal, and that should be it. He concluded with a smile. Oh god. I'm thinking he doesn't actually know the shadow clone yet.
No, I think he does.
No, it's just like he dies now at the end.
Yeah, he shouldn't even. Kyubi tried to think with deadpan, already knowing how this was going to end, but it was too late. Naruto then did his signature seal. Okay, I guess he does know it. Unless this is a meta reference, but... Naruto then did his signature seal as he made an attempt to do a clone. Shadow Clone Jutsu! He shouted as he gave this clone more chakra than normal.
He's had the jutsu for what, a week or two? Why is it his signature seal?
Shut the fucking up.
This is a flashback, so it's been less than a week.
Yeah, at this point, his signature jutsu should be sexy jutsu.
Like, this sounds like this is his first training exercise since graduation. So
since it gives him, since the shadow clone costs 50% of your chakra, does that mean that he's giving more than half his chakra to the clone?
Yes.
Look, man, this thing is written by someone who doesn't understand how chakra works.
But they understand how chakra works.
Katara.
To be fair, the magic system, the power system of Naruto isn't the most well fleshed out.
I mean, no, it is kind of fleshed out. You shouldn't be able to use any elemental technique without learning the elemental chakra control exercises beforehand.
Except that's wrong.
What do you mean?
So,
Sasuke learning Fireball Jutsu.
And you have to use more chakra to do it.
Sasuke learning Fireball Jutsu before he's even a Genin.
No, that's how he developed his fire affinity.
Yeah, because like he's actually
Yeah,
like infinity.
Like the Uchiha clan is insane about the fire affinity technique.
Yeah, I was just saying that could be used as an exception because we'd never see Sasuke do the control exercises.
Well, you can explain it away by him being basically
Of
the
course.
reincarnation of some anime Nephilim type.
Of course, we also don't even know about elemental chakra training until Shippuden when Naruto has to do it. So
That's because it wasn't a thing until then.
I know, but like that's the thing with stories like this. It's like Dragon Ball, how they retcon the Batara earrings. They do it because they have to release within a week, and then like 5 years down the line, they realize that they wrote themselves into a bit of a corner, so they just pretend like it was never a thing.
That is why retcons are a thing. Anyway,
Yep.
back to this. He shouted as he gave this one clone more chakra than normal. When he saw that the clone came out fine, he smirked. Yes! Now do it! He told the clone with excitement. He was so excited that he forgot to make space between the clone and himself.
Oh no.
Great.
So when the clone did as he was told, boom! Naruto was now in the center of the explosion, with his whole body black from said explosion.
So, for the sake of humor, we're forgetting that this is a technique designed to kill people?
Yep. You are correct.
You love this, don't you, Zero?
Oh no! God damn it!
Oh, Kami, damn it, Data Bio!
I blame Smurf for this one.
I think I just vomited a little.
He then
What do you
yelled,
blame me?
completely annoyed of the results.
God damn it!
Wow!
Sorry, I meant Kami, damn it.
Kyubi was then laughing so hard that he actually was feeling pain from laughing so hard. Redundant statements are redundant. Then, after calming down enough, he wiped the tear that came from too much laughter. Hey, kid, he soon began. What? Naruto replied as he was clearly not in the mood to deal with him. Why don't you just use your clones to do those damaging jutsus? Kyubi finished with honest curiosity.
Myth,
What?
when it's revealed that it's Kyubi-chan, will you still be using this voice?
Yes. That just makes it even funnier.
How could a
Naruto, I got a
shadow
secret
clone
for you.
exploding shadow clone when an exploding shadow clone costs more than a shadow clone?
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about that.
God damn it.
See, what happens if you use half your chakra to make a lightning shadow clone? Would it just create a lightning explosion on a level like a Bijutama if Naruto used half his chakra?
I don't
does-
know.
or is it- Or is logic absolutely shot to shit? in
That's a
regards
good
to
question.
explosions?
This instantly put a hold on Naruto's anger as he stared with a dumb expression on his face. What? Was all he could say. You know, what the scroll said about the other part of the shadow clones? Kyubi remarked as he began to recall said part. Anything the shadow clones do or see will be transferred back to the user. In other words, if the clones do a jutsu, you should remember how they did it, he said. Naruto stood still for a good minute as his eyes then became hollow as he began to process what he just said and what he just experienced. Kit? Kyubi asked
Oh,
when his
God.
Yes,
Oh,
Kit
Lord,
is a
Kit.
thing. Kyubi asked when his Jinchuriki was quiet for a whole minute. What? Are you fucking kidding me? What the hell, damn it? Why didn't you tell me,
Motherfucker.
Tadabayo? Naruto exploded with uncontrollable fury. You never asked. Kyubi simply responded with a witty smirk on his face. For all the remainder of the day, the sound of hundreds of Naruto's cursing could be heard at the training grounds while they were practicing their jutsus. That and the sound of explosions, tears, and screaming of pain, too. Meanwhile, on a nearby tree branch, a masked figured only sweat dropped, as he wondered what the cursing was really about.
I forget, is the Hokage evil in this one, or just an idiot?
No.
I did not gather
Wet dropping is not an action.
We did have a Hokage POV at the beginning of the chapter, and he did not come across as evil.
To be fair, that could just be him hiding it.
I'm pretty sure he was
From
by
the-
himself in the chat. In that,
I'm putting it in this perspective of this author. He could be alone in a steel bunker, completely by himself, listing his thoughts, and then later it could still be a reveal.
True. I guess we'll find out eventually. Skeletal Dog 77. The cringe is so bad the other people left. I mean,
Skeletal. Come on, man. We haven't even started the cringe part. You either think this is bad.
It gets significantly more worse.
If you think this is bad, just go watch my Immortal streams.
Good times.
Like, no joke. After those streams, I went to work the next day terrified that when I opened my mouth, I would talk like that fic was written.
Dude, Myth, did you see that thing I posted a few weeks ago, a week or so ago? Like, this is what peak fanfic writing looks like? Let me fucking find it.
I have no idea. That was... I've slept
Absolutely
since
the
then.
worst thing I've ever read in my life.
I have slept since then.
Alright, so it's, I posted it, like, 2 weeks ago almost. Well, actually, just a week ago. Here it is.
Kai! Let's see what it is.
So bad.
Is this one of Frogo's Grimmers or something?
No, it's not.
What the fuck am I looking at here?
I don't know. I'm moving on. Flashback no
Mind if I
jutsu
unmute
is
Tia?
over. What?
Mind if I unmute Tia? Tiamat?
I guess.
Alright.
Hey.
What are we reading?
Remix.
We are reading Uchiha Heiress Remix.
Oh god.
Naruto then sweat dropped at remembering that time. Not one of my best moments, Databayo, he admitted with a depressed tone. Kyubi could only chuckle at that. You're the one that decided not to fully read the jutsu's full effects and only focus on the first sentence of the description kit, he then remarked, reminding his
Is he
container
seriously
of what
calling him
happened.
Kit?
Yep.
Yep.
Oh god.
Kyubi is calling Naruto Kit.
I like how there was no comment on the southern accent. Just
No, it's because calling someone kid like for a fuck means it's their own child.
I don't think
Well,
the
that's the
Fox
secret
would
to
call
this
him that
fic.
anyway if you respected him, because the names mean a lot to the Biju.
Yeah,
Wait.
but no, hold on, for like for terms, right? A fox, like baby can be called a kid.
bro, look at the next sentence.
Just shut up, you annoying erotic fox.
Oh, Lord Almighty,
I've been reincarnated as the blonde out with an annoying erotic fox in my stomach.
Oh my god!
What emotional film is this?
I forgot he's a fucking pervert as well, the Kyubi is.
Yeah, he's a perverted pedophile. Naruto then grumbled out, clearly not wanting to be reminded of the events as he waited for the female Uchiha. Back in the bathroom. Satsuki had soon finished her bath. Drying herself off as she did, her mind began to wander between what happened yesterday to all that had happened after the massacre. This sentence is terribly punctuated.
She did her. Is she fucking her mind?
True, she still had the occasional nightmares of that fateful day. But it was then that she realized that last night it was the first time that she had a very peaceful and pleasant sleep in a long time.
Are you kidding me?
Yep, they're going there. But why? She muttered in slight confusion as the image of a certain blonde came to mind. Could it be that it was because of me opening up to someone? She then added as a small blush appeared on her cheeks. I'll worry about that later, she then decided as she watched the water drain from the tub. Finally finishing with what she was doing in the bathroom, Satsuki went back into her room as she got changed. As she walked back, she remembered something important. Team selections is today, huh? She got out as remembered that the 1-week break had finally ended. I wonder who will be on my team, she wondered out loud as she had to admit she was a little curious about who she would be with. After Satsuki had entered her room, she noticed that Naruto wasn't there. He must be downstairs, she figured as she used this opportunity to use the binding tape to hold her breasts. Hurts, she groaned as she wrapped the tape around her chest, this being the one thing that the young preteen hated with passion, having to use binding tape to keep her obvious female trait hidden. It's always a pain having to do this every single day, but I have to do this, she complained before a revolting thought appeared in her mind, shivering at the possibility of one of the Sasuke fangirls being placed as her teammate. Dear Kami, please don't let that happen, she muttered to herself before she got herself dressed in an outfit Sasuke would wear and headed for the kitchen to make breakfast. As she walked downstairs, she saw that Naruto was aimlessly staring off into space. I guess he's deep in thought. I'll leave him to his business, she thought with a gentle smile. What Satsuki didn't know, however, was that Naruto would always remain in this state every time a clone either disappeared after he successfully did a jutsu, or the clone had failed at performing it. This would cint the experience the clone obtained to the original. The Uchiha Heiress then finally entered the kitchen, where she got her mother's old apron.
Oh my gosh, she said the name of the fic, except he didn't call her the remix.
Right? Better make the usual, except I have a guest today, she decided as she once again blushed again at being reminded that she had a friend now. Is this how Hinata Hyuga feels about him? Now Now I understand why she always stutters around him.
Oh God.
She thought to herself. Yep. She thought to herself, like many, she too knew about the shy little Hyuga's obvious crush on Naruto, though she always had to keep her Sasuke appearance. She always thought that Hinata looked really cute whenever she looked at Naruto, and blushed cutely that she would always squeal on the inside whenever she saw her act like that. I think Hinata-chan would be the only girl I could handle, she admitted in her head. Then, after a giggle escaped her lips, she went to make her family's special breakfast curry, and the aroma filled the air.
No boy, guys, it's that special curry.
After another clone had dispelled from overtraining, Naruto was stretching his limbs as he thought that one was the last clone he made. Man, that was a good workout. Getting a little better on my jutsus, but I still have a long way to go, he admitted as he suddenly smelled something good. Satsuki-chan must be making breakfast. he thought as he followed the smell, leading him to the kitchen. When he reached the kitchen, he saw Satsuki with the apron on as she was setting the table. The apron was a light blue color, as it had the Uchiha symbol in the middle and had white snowflakes around it. Kami, she looks cute, he thought with a small blush on his face as he finally began to approach her, as he couldn't help but think that she looked attractive in the apron. Damn. If only she was wearing just the apron. Kyubi.
Oh my gosh. Damn, dude, what the fuck? She's 12.
The way you said "damn"
He might be
disturbed
12, but
me.
you know.
That disturbed me.
God damn it, Pete.
He might be 12, but you know, old enough to kill, old enough.
You don't even fucking finish that.
You couldn't even finish it. He started cracking up.
It was between damn and dear God.
A god of deers?
I am more
Cute.
powerful
Let's
than a god of
invoke
deers. I am
Artemis into
splattered
this.
them with a dagger.
Kyubi committed as he began to chuckle pervertedly while sending the lewd images to his container.
Oh, he committed?
Yep. In return, Naruto blushed crimson red at the images, but he quickly recovered as he refrained from retorting to the perverted Baiju. Yo, morning, Satsuki-chan! He called out to get her attention as he gave her a true smile. While he began to wave his hand toward the female Uchiha.
Kyubi's a transsexual now.
This slightly startled the Uchiha to the point that it nearly made her drop the food. And when she regained her balance, she then turned to see Naruto in his current outfit. Oh, hi, Naruto-kun. Sasuke stuttered out with a noticeable blush on her face at both seeing Naruto's in his new outfit and the smile that he was giving her. Wow, he looks really nice in those. She thought to herself as she was thankful that the blonde didn't notice her blushing face. I made some of my family's special breakfast curry. I hope you enjoy it. She then explained as she turned back to the food to try to distract herself from seeing the blonde. Naruto then pulled out the chair and sat down. Curry? He asked as he tilted his head slightly as he looked at the food. It looked pretty good. I never had curry before, he then admitted. Really? Satsuki asked in surprise as the two sat down to eat. Are you serious? She then added to the question. Naruto merely shrugged to the question. Yeah, most if now all the shop and restaurant owners always raise the prices on me. So the only food I ever really was able to either afford or to eat was Ichiraki ramen. Regular cups of ramen, some groceries that I managed to get at a low price whenever Iruka-sensei didn't bring me something. He casually explained the harsher parts of his life, as he never really cared about how they tried him. Silence. Why even put this here?
Yeah, like they even say Kyubi said nothing.
Yeah. Like at this point, we've got the style established that bold quotes are the Kyubi speaking. So they could have just used this, left this out, and just mentioned his expression. Or just leave this out and have this sentence refined to remove the redundancy, but Kyubi said nothing to this as he remained silent while having a very serious expression on his face. Satsuki, on the other hand, was stupefied by this reveal as her jaw dropped slightly when her eyes widened in shock. He's only eaten ramen for most of his life? She thought as she began to feel an emotion she only ever had towards one certain person began to fill her. Burning rage and anger. Why do the shop and restaurant owners raise the prices on you? They lower the prices for me personally because of my Uchiha status, but raise them on you? An orphan? That's unfair and unjustified!
This is outrageous. It's unfair.
She exclaimed, clearly showing both anger and worry for her new friend. Naruto shrugged his shoulders as he then chuckled a bit. Meh, I don't mind. I usually just prank the pricks afterward. He then explained as he said it as if it wasn't a big deal. To be honest, pranking seems to help train me in stealth, so at least something good comes out of it, he then added, feeling satisfied that he pulled the successful pranks. It was a given that the Uchiha didn't look convinced in the slightest. But, still, Satsuki muttered. She was beginning feeling guilty again, after she learned so much about Naruto, from finding out that he didn't know who his parents were, and that he's only ever been able to eat ramen for most of his life for some reason. She felt that she had took everything she ever had for granted. As if Naruto could feel what Satsuki was feeling, he just waved her concerns. It's alright, Satsuki-chan. You don't have to worry, he said with an understanding. He pointed at the food that was in front of them. How about we eat? I'm starving, he then stated. Satsuki's face was still full of concern and worry for her new friend's harsh life. But I can't help but to worry, she thought as she slightly narrowed her eyes as they were filled with sadness. But as she was about to say something, her stomach growled with a cute sound. This made her halt her questions while also making Naruto chuckle at the sound. I guess I am too, she soon admitted with a small giggle. This managed to lighten her mood a little as they decided to just let the subject go for now. Then, as Satsuki was about to take a bite, she remembered something that she forgot to ask about. Naruto-kun? She soon started. Naruto had already used a spoon to grab some of the curry, but stopped before he could take a bite. Yeah? He responded as he turned towards her. Satsuki began to slightly fidgeting her hands below the table as she thought of how to ask her question. Well, I was wondering, why did you think Sakura was at my apartment last night? I'm just curious, she then suddenly asked. Naruto winced at the question. Oh, well, how do I explain? He then started to chuckle a little as he now thought it was kind of awkward now that he thought back on it. It was your stupid imagination running wild at the time, the Kyubi then remarked as this in turn made Naruto groan internally, knowing he couldn't deny it being true. Satsuki then gave him a confused look with an adorable tilt of her head. What? Come on, it's alright, you can tell me. She then started to give him the dreaded jutsu that made any man into a slave to a girl's wishes. The infamous puppy eyes jutsu. That all the kunoichis, and even some of the civilian ones, seemed to know. Please? Oh God. Oh God. Why?
The vomit tank.
How did it feel to read that myth? I want you to document your feelings.
Whoever it was that read this Are we going to have to sit through Myth reading out lemons from Satsuki's perspective at some point?
Yes.
Oh God! Oh God!
Do you want an answer to
I
that?
do not want an answer. I want my reactions to be genuine.
When you
I can
thought
see
of
the
reading
next-
this, it's like
You're
the
going
same
to double the number of oh gods in the fic.
No, it'd be Okami. Okami.
Oh God!
Interspersed with oh gods.
And Myth, after reading for that long, will you give up the fic if you have to read that?
He can't. He's got the OCD thing.
I can't.
You've got a million
Stop
words to
reading
look
that.
forward to. The story is 1.3 million words, I think. You have a lot to look forward to.
Wait, are you serious? I did
Yes,
not look at the
I
link.
shit you not. It is over 1 million words long.
Jesus
I'm not
Christ!
bullshitting you. Yeah, I
Myth,
am not
you
bullshitting
poor
you.
fucking bastard.
Jesus Christ!
Jesus
not
has left the chat already. Jesus has left the chat already. And I hate this fucking story has more favorites and follows than any of my stories, I think.
I mean, this story's been up for 9 years, fam.
I
Just
don't
get
fucking
it
care.
someday and you'll be good.
It was
I
last
don't
updated nearly 7 months ago.
So it's
It
been
was-
solidly updating for 9 years.
It was updated on Christmas.
What a shitty
On
gift-
Christmas Eve.
gift.
In other words, Myth, this fic will keep going for as long as you live.
Oh God!
The gift that keeps on giving.
I will say this. At least it's not Ran.
Oh.
He's not wrong.
True. I'm just
Ran
imagining-
is a Ran is a 3-letter word in the same way HIV is. Except for the soul. It's the HIV of the soul. Ran is.
And we still have a lot more Rand to read.
Yeah, I will need to return to Ran at some point because
Aragon fanfiction.
No.
He has it.
No.
What are you guys talking
moving
about?
on. She
I'm
pled
just-
cutely as she suddenly became even 10 times cuter while her face and eyes sparkled. Fuck. Naruto thought, as even he knew that no man could resist this forbidden jutsu. He was
For a
still
second there, I thought that fuck was from you.
Yeah, same here. The comedic pause.
He was still surprised to learn that it even was a jutsu in the first place, since it was just a simple genjutsu where they increase a girl's cuteness.
Did he actually just I'm not sure how
Surprised
to
to
process
learn that it's a jutsu, since it was just a genjutsu.
Why do the civilians know it?
But I don't know.
Presumably from all of the people who failed the ninja course.
But how would they fail if they were able to use that jutsu?
I guess they can't do the clone jutsu.
No, the ones who failed during the test, like the individual test
Wait,
that the
So
Jonin did.
doesn't it mean like every fucking Kunichi has to be tested by another Kunichi? Because if they all know this fucking jutsu, that means they could just like use it on the Jonin guys and pass.
Yep. That's in a logical thing.
Oh, that
yes.
was why that was why Pain
No.
wouldn't.
in a
I'll
logical thing, this
stop.
jutsu wouldn't exist.
Well, yes, but we have to argue from what we've already read.
No, actually, man, it can exist if it was a type of visual genjutsu made by a female Uchiha to get what they want. That could work.
It's
But
entirely.
Why am I trying to rationalize this fucking shit?
Smurf, did I ask you to rationalize this?
No, but I will because I'm
It
autistic
was
as
made to
shit,
seduce
that's
the
why.
first Hokage.
George Lowry from YouTube says, I'm assuming it was supposed to be a gesture, not genjutsu.
What kind of gesture?
You know who made this genjutsu? Tsunade.
Tsunade did not use her eyes. She didn't use puppy dog eyes. She uses her tits.
But you know who
No,
else was
remember,
You
in
know
the
who else?
Hashirama flashback, he said she was so cute that he couldn't refuse her anything.
But doesn't that mean that fucking Hiruzen also knows the jutsu and Orochimaru as well? Because they both want to learn all the jutsu, and like Hiruzen knows all the jutsu.
And Orochimaru jumps into chicks all the fucking time.
Let's move on. Let's move on. This rabbit hole is never going to end, so moving on. This made Kyubi chuckle at his host's predicament. Get used to it, kid. This will not be the last time you feel its terrible power. The Baiju then commented. This once again made Naruto groan internally as he somehow knew that he was right. Well, remember when I told you about me having something kind of like a bloodline? He then asked in response. This made Satsuki recalled when Naruto said so before their match as she ended the genjutsu, making herself look cute.
Is he seriously about to tell her he's a Jinchuriki already?
He's a Jin Cherokee?
And attacking Uzumaki?
What a surprise.
A Suzuki? What?
Let's just find out. I think I remember you mentioning that just before we had our spar. What exactly does it do, exactly? She then curiously asked. Naruto nodded to this. Yeah. Though like I said, it's not really a true bloodline like yours. Because of this bloodline, it enhances my natural abilities, such as my sense of smell, hearing, sight, but not on the Byakugan level. It gives me a nice healing factor to help me heal real fast, and it also increases my reaction time as well. He explained, though he made sure not to say how or where did he gain his bloodline. What? You scared she'll hate you or fear you? Kyubi asked in a neutral tone, as he knew that he omitted that part of the explanation. To be honest, yes, Naruto replied with honesty. The redundancy is grating.
Yes, I've been thinking, should I start typing like this on Discord?
Redundancy is redundant.
Very much so, yes.
Redundantly redundant.
As the Baiju wasn't really that surprised, but before he commented on it, Naruto then continued his explanation. Well, I don't really think you're like people say you are, but I don't know how Satsuki-chan would take it. He added with the same honest tone. Baiju didn't say anything, but he did give a small smirk to his host's honesty. I guess he really is different.
Since when is honesty a tone?
Since now.
For anime, for Naruto.
You're asking about the guy who trademarked Talk no Jutsu.
It's better word would have been sincerely.
Satsuki, meanwhile, nodded her head to this explanation, getting intrigued by it. Really? So I'm assuming it's similar to the Inuzuka clan, correct? She asked with a slight exciting tone, wanting to know more. Now Naruto had to think of how to respond to that, as he really could say he used his Baiju's chakra to gain super level senses. Yeah, so last night after I was training, I used too much chakra that overpowered my sense of smell. This caused me to smell your scent, but I thought I smelled something completely different about it. He answered as he then blushed, this time in embarrassment. Oh yeah, in case y'all forgot, the reason that this got started is Naruto can somehow smell the difference between a male and a female.
Almighty.
And
Well, that does exist in the realms of possibility.
Oh,
Yeah,
this
but
is
Yes,
so good.
yes,
learn that
but within the realm of the fic, the fact that the Inuzuka have not displayed that.
I
Or
mean,
at least it's never
let's be-
explicitly stated that they can. So you have
Well,
to kind of like, well,
No,
it kind
they're
of
Kiba is in the class, and
yeah,
he still doesn't know.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you mean? Satsuki asked as she gave him another confused look. Well, I smelled you. But since I know about, well, you, Naruto stated, meaning Satsuki in general, I thought I had the scent of a girl with you, and, well, he then trailed off. Satsuki once more tilted her head cutely to that. Eh? What did you end up thinking? She then asked. Naruto just sighed as he knew that he had to say it now. I thought you and Sakura-chan were, well, doing it together, and, well, my imagination got the best of me, he explained before he lightly chuckled, feeling completely embarrassed. Sorry about that, Satsuki-chan. My wild imagination is the reason why we really met. He then apologized.
I have a question. They're in public, right?
No, they're in Satsuki's apartment.
Okay.
Imagine if it happened in public.
They haven't even started eating the curry she made yet.
It's gone cold. Like curry.
Satsuki began to process what Naruto just said as she soon looked at him with a disbelief expression. So wait a minute, Naruto-kun. You thought me... She started as she pointed at herself. Yeah, Naruto answered. And Sakura... Yep. We're about to... Together? Basically. There was an awkward silence for a minute before Satsuki started to giggle a little, and then went into a full-blown laughter. Now Naruto looked at her in disbelief. He got out in confusion as he then blushed at the sight of the laughing girl. Kami. How can someone be so cute? He admittingly thought. Kyubi just chuckled at the display. Looks like the Kits isn't the only one who's different, he thought to himself. The Kits what? Like, the Kits what isn't the only one that's different?
I'm gonna assume personality.
Possibly. After the young girl finished her giggle attack, Satsuki then got up from her seat and went over to him, placing a hand on his shoulder while using her other hand to hold her stomach from the remaining laughter. Don't worry, Naruto-kun. It's alright that you overreacted. I understand that it'd be confusing for you. I mean, you had no idea about me at all until last night, she responded with a kind smile. You mean you're alright with it? Naruto asked as he was half expecting getting a hit or something for saying and thinking something like that.
That's what I was expecting too.
I mean, if it was Sakura, that is what would have happened.
Also, that kind smile seems rather patronizing.
I mean, of course it is. Satsuki then giggled again. I know you like Sakura, but I am not into her for obvious reasons, she answered as she then winked at him. It feels good showing the real me to someone. She happily thought at having a friend to share these moments. Naruto then also began to chuckle a little. Well, at least you being a girl explains why you never responded to any of your fangirls. You know, and please don't hate me for this, but for a while I kinda assumed that you were into guys. He finished as he flinched, feeling worried that Satsuki might hit him for what he said. Why would Satsuki, a girl, albeit pretending to be a guy, get upset for Naruto thinking that she might be into guys? Like, even... Like...
How dare you imply that I'm straight?
So does this female Sasuke have no effects from the slaughter of her clan mentally?
Not that we've seen.
No, she has the nightmares.
That
not anymore.
Yeah, the nightmares disappeared when Naruto slept with her.
Yep.
This is why I told Peach I'm going to just out of sheer spite write a version of this that isn't absolute total dog shit.
I can't wait to read it.
But that's the thing. It wouldn't be difficult to write this well. It's not a terrible premise.
Yeah.
A decent writer could write it and write it well.
There is one premise. Sakura ever being skilled enough to attract Orochimaru's attention.
That is something that we haven't gotten to, and therefore could easily be written out or written to actually work.
There's a simple way.
There's no reason that it has to be for her skill. Like, she could be just in a convenient position, and it could be a payoff to get her to help him.
It just wants her body.
Oh, God.
Or that.
Oh, God.
Of course you worded it that way, but if somebody was insistent on writing the weird shit of, like, from the very get-go wanting to have it where there's tension, like, romantic tension between Naruto and Satsuki, just age them up to 16 or something from the get-go, like some stories do. It makes it a lot less icky. But instead, no, let's go with this fucking shit here with a 12-year-old with double D breasts.
But you have to remember that that Orochimaru's curse marks also basically function as Horcruxes. So it's in his best interest to put as many of them out there as possible.
Except it's really not, because
it has a high mortality rate, does it not?
And also, I think all of his curse marks, like the stable ones, need a lot of preparation, if I remember right. Or is that Fanon?
I think
it's Fanon, because literally all he did to Sasuke was bite him.
Yeah, I mean, he had to prepare before that.
Oh, maybe? I don't know.
I mean, I suppose he needs some of the enzyme from Jugo or whatever.
Also, it's a sage technique. It involves sage chakra.
I do assume the soul is a finite resource and he can't just split it into a million freaking pieces.
Have you seen his giant white snake form that splits into a million pieces?
Thing is, did it ever say he puts a fragment of his soul in there, or is it just an anchor?
Well, that's actually a good point. But they did pull a copy of Orochimaru out of Anko. But then, like you said, it could have been an anchor, so it could have just pulled the real one through.
Yeah, because he mentioned that he could see through the mark or see through Anko's senses somewhat at some point. So it makes it sound like he was technically, quote unquote, in the afterlife, and he was basically seeing through a mirror into basically our dimension or whatever.
So your Orochimaru is constantly getting fucked by Kakashi.
I guess, yes. I guess. Didn't
Okay.
think of that.
Diving back into
Yeah.
this dumpster
What is
fire.
the keyboard?
That was balls.
Somebody unmuted me. I did not know.
Whose balls?
Satsuki stared at Naruto for a few moments before bending down and began laughing so hard until tears started falling down her cheeks, while her side started to hurt. Oh, Kami! I can't! I can't breathe! She tried to say in between her roaring laughter.
The way that was worded.
After a few moments of laughing, she leaned against Naruto before taking a few needed gasps of air. Now that I think about it, it would have been so much easier for me to say that I was homosexual. It would have helped me escape any
They
my
would have
Sasuke
fucking
fangirls.
locked you up and just kept you as a fucking slave to repopulate.
Which is
Uchiha.
exactly what she was afraid of.
That would be the worst thing you could possibly say in a fucking society like that.
After all, I am into guys, she admitted in a joking manner. This made Naruto also laugh at the irony as well. Yeah, I guess now I know that you are into guys. Thank you, Captain Obvious.
Thank you for literally restating what she just said.
This hurts my soul.
You're welcome. He commented as they both continued to laugh loudly, though strangely for Naruto, he felt relieved of hearing that last bit from the Uchiha.
It doesn't hurt my soul as much as Aragon movie hurt yours.
Nothing could hurt that badly.
They could do a remake.
No, they shouldn't. They should be kept there.
I mean,
of what not to do.
They could do a remake and fuck it up worse.
Yeah.
Literally, the only redeeming quality was having Jeremy Irons cast.
They really can't fuck it up worse.
They could have Sakura and Aragon get together.
Gauntlet Throne.
They can fuck it up in such a way that it's abominable to any real fan, but everyone else loves it, so it keeps getting seasons.
It's made by Scalies. There's a full-length sex scene between Aragon and Saphira.
That's like throwing a hot dog down an alleyway.
Goodbye, Peach.
You can't mute him. Okay.
I said goodbye, Peach.
Oh, damn.
I want to tell him. I want to tell him that I hope an archangel comes down and fucks him to death. I tried to say that, and then he said goodbye. We kicked him again. If you had to choose between Gabriel or Michael coming down from heaven and beating you to death for that fucking comment, Peach, which one do you want?
I mean, are we talking about actual Gabriel and Michael, or DXD Gabriel and Michael?
Or
Oh yeah, you get off on that shit, wouldn't you? You get off.
I mean, if it was DXD, I'd say Gabriel because damn.
What about
you wouldn't mind being killed by a big titty woman, would you?
Michael all the way. Damn, game beaten to death by the same guy who cast the devil into hell like that. That's going out like a boss.
Yeah, well, he's probably going to shove you up the devil's ass. Is probably what's going to happen, though.
Who's going to step on you?
Okay, moving on.
Let's move on. Let's move on to the cursed shit.
After the two had finally calmed down, Satsuki then sighed and frowned as she went back to her seat. As for said fangirls, they're nothing but absolute disgraces that will get themselves killed sooner or later, she muttered what that was heard. Naruto blinked a couple of times to that in confusion. What do you mean, Satsuki-chan? He then asked. Satsuki sighed in response as she placed her hands on her hip. Besides Hinata and Ino, who both at least still trained, though Hinata way more than Ino, might I add, she began explaining, Most of the girls shouldn't have gone to the academy, as they only decided to go as to try and flirt with me. Well, with Sasuke, she then continued. Naruto didn't say anything to that, as he saw that more times than he could count, as he then remembered something. Same with Sakura-chan? He then asked with honest curiosity. No sooner Naruto asked that, it made Satsuki's eye twitch a little, as it took every single fiber of her being not to begin shouting in pure annoyance. But she didn't, as she realized that now that she was Naruto's friend, she decided that now is the best time to make her new friend see some sense into his little obsession on the pink-haired girl. Naruto-kun, she's the worst of them all. She cares more about her appearance than her shinobi training. She soon began the new explanation while this made Naruto to become taken back to this. But before he could say anything, the Uchiha Heiress continued.
Remix.
I will say that she may be really smart, but that's only in terms of book smarts, and those aren't going to be of much help in the field. So if she doesn't take it seriously, she could again end up getting herself or her teammates killed. I honestly don't get what you see in her. She may have some nice looks, but that's it. Is loud, bossy, rude, and she screeches like a damn banshee that could easily destroy the entire village with her voice alone. Sounds like setting up for bashing to me.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, that's an honest description of her from the very beginning of Naruto.
Oh yeah, it is a very...
I have a question. Why does Sasuke care about teamwork?
I mean, canonically,
Friends
he
are-
doesn't.
Sasuke.
But this is Satsuki, not Sasuke.
Fine, fine.
And also, to be fair, the only reason Sasuke was against teamwork because he thought they would hold him back.
Well, I mean, Naruto's an
I mean-
outright fucking moron, so he kind of would.
And Sakura was Sakura.
You said would.
I got the impression that Sasuke had that opinion before he even knew what his team would be, though. So
Yeah, well, that reinforced any of his biases.
Also,
Granted, he knew how much of an idiot Naruto was.
to be fair, the rest of his class couldn't keep up with him either.
also true. George Lowry on YouTube says, "Do Banshee even exist in Naruto,
Probably
mythology or otherwise?"
Obviously,
Considering-
it's
Well,
the Naruto version of Iron Man,
Rome
that's
exists.
legend.
No, Rome does exist because they use the months
Roman
of
month.
the Roman month, include July and August.
Yeah, so probably.
I mean, there are other continents in the world of Naruto. We actually see one in one of the movies, so...
Yeah.
It's based off of like knights and shit, right?
Yeah, knights that enhance their armor and swords with some type of chakra orbs, I think.
Are they the Dark Angels? That's the real
Returning back
question
to the
there.
dumpster fire.
Yeah, go ahead.
She admitted as she crossed her arms over her chest. Kami help the poor soul that ever marries her. Not to
God.
mention the fact that she has pink bubblegum hair. Honestly, that's really unnatural. She finalized.
What?
This is Sakura bashing fic.
Yeah.
Yes.
That is not an unnatural hair color in the world of Naruto.
No, it's not. But to be fair, Satsuki is a preteen girl. They tend to be bitches about appearance.
Okay, I just realized I muted
That's
myself at some point.
understatement of the century.
Why do people keep forgetting to unmute themselves?
No, I muted myself by accident.
I know.
You pulled a
Yeah.
smurf.
How do you accidentally mute yourself?
I'm using Twitch to talk. I assume I bumped the button.
Oh, cool.
I was trying to say that, and now I've forgotten. Bugger.
Naruto was slightly taken aback by this, as he clearly wasn't expecting the sudden insults. But just as he was about to say something, he then heard the Kyubi talking in his head. She got you there, kid. Only reason you've got a crush on her is because of her apparent looks and book smarts. You got a better chance with Lavender Eyes or the Uchiha here. He half joked as Naruto blushed at the thought about him and Satsuki being together. After all, even he knew that Satsuki was very attractive and cute, but did wondered who he meant by Lavender Eyes.
What?
Her eyes are white. It's literally in the name of the jutsu.
Person probably looked at a lot of fan art. Her eyes are lavender. Oh.
Also, how stupid are they gonna make Naruto?
Wait, does it? George Lowry on YouTube says, to be fair, it did say Sakura bashing in the description.
It does?
I do not remember, so I'm going to go check.
Sakura
and Civilian Council bashing. So.
Civilian Council, god damn it.
Yes, I remembered the Civilian Council. The Civilian Council is the entire reason that Satsuki is worried about the CRA.
Even if there was a Civilian Council in Naruto, they shouldn't have any whatsoever.
That's why I have it where they can only fucking do taxes and shit, and everybody tells them to fuck off because they can't really enforce the laws.
If you're good ninja, you don't pay taxes. The IRS can't catch
they're
you.
basically the IRS for civilians. That's basically all they want.
Already strong enough that he can just kill the civilian council himself.
Yes.
Any guinea is strong enough to kill a civilian council.
Most academy students are strong enough to kill the civilian council. They're
Fucking
civilians.
Konohamaru before the academy.
Yes. Also, Konohamaru before the academy could have killed the entire civilian council.
Who would want to be a civilian in that world? Good lord.
I don't know, the ramen guy is doing pretty well for himself.
Ramen guy is a whole different breed.
Yeah, you're right. He's the sage of 6 flavors.
For all you know, he's retired.
There is no good or evil. There is only ramen, and those too weak to slurp it.
Hell yeah. I love that meme.
But Satsuki wasn't done yet. That, and I think she would go and possibly turn lesbian for me if she ever found out the truth about me. That, or hopefully she would finally wake up from her delusion of Sasuke obsession.
Isn't the point of Sakura being after Sasuke in most of these bashing fics that she's only after him for his money?
What?
I've
never seen that.
I don't read a lot of Naruto, so I don't know.
Like,
never seen it either.
Usually it's
but
like,
then again,
her parents started it because they wanted to have the fucking Uchiha heir, money, shit like that.
That sounds a lot like you're projecting a lot of Jinny bashing onto Sakura.
Yeah.
No, I mean, all these bashing fics tend to fucking blur together. Let me be honest.
That sounds like a lot of Jinny bashing.
I mean, a lot of fucking early Naruto fics got a lot of their shit from their old Harry Potter fics, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
True.
They do overlap.
That's so sad.
I swear, a lot of fanfic writers can only write one type of fic and have one type of idea.
Wrong Boy Who Lived spawned the Naruto fics where he has a sibling who becomes the Jin Cherokee.
Jin Cherokee?
To be fair, those fics can be done well.
So can Wrong Boy Who Lived. That doesn't mean they generally are.
No, generally they aren't.
That or hopefully, okay. But really, for someone to have book smarts, she doesn't know the meaning of the word no. I mean, seriously. I always say no, but she seems to completely ignore or block it out from her mind, and continues to go after me. She added as she shivered at the thought.
That's not book smarts, though.
Women don't understand the concept of consent.
That's social.
To be
I don't
fair,
regret saying that.
to be fair, Sakura in canon does come across as slightly socially inept.
Yes, but that's not book smarts. That's social intelligence.
I know. I'm just saying Satsuki here is wrong in what she's saying, but the actions themselves do fit. Because Sakura is slightly socially inept.
Everyone
Less so
you
than
see
Naruto.
in Naruto is socially inept.
True. It's kind of a prerequisite to be a ninja.
I mean, maybe Hiruzen wasn't, but that's
He used a crystal ball to peep on people.
Yeah.
That makes him a pervert, not socially inept.
She added as she shivered at the thought. Naruto was very conflicted to this, as he really still liked Sakura, but he couldn't just feel mad or shout at Satsuki either. He tried to take a deep breath, but he still didn't know what to think. Seeing his face filled with nothing but confliction made Satsuki feel bad. But she knew that Naruto needed to face this, or he wouldn't be able to both see what Sakura really was, or more importantly, be able to move on from his slight obsession. Listen, Naruto-kun, she began as the blonde turned to look at her. I know you don't want to hear this, but I really want you to think of what you know of her. I mean, is she really worth getting her to like you, even if it meant receiving all the pain, both physically and emotionally, she does to you? She then asked with both seriousness and honesty, as he looked straight at his eyes, with a worried in her eyes.
That sounds more like manipulation. Like he's doing it in a manipulative way.
He looked straight at his eyes, worried in her.
Well, just be happy you didn't see orbs anywhere in here.
Yet.
Yet.
I will be describing characters' balls when I write lemons as orbs.
I mean, you already described eyes as orbs. What are you talking about?
That was for lulz. Zero.
We've got guys have groin orbs, girls have chest orbs.
Nice.
I guarantee you when the Sharingan activates, it'll be orbs.
Her crimson orbs.
Yes. Her beautiful crimson orbs.
Crimson blood red orbs.
I don't know. It'd be ruby red. It'd probably be ruby red because she's a girl.
Oh, yeah.
You described the activation veins on the Byakugan as tumescent.
As what?
Tumescent. It's a word usually used to describe a penis.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had never heard the word before, so...
So, the only one that knows that was him. You got a reason for that?
Yes, it was in one of my sister's favorite movies as a kid. It was about, there was a teacher or someone who was writing a porn novel or something, and she was asking for adjectives.
That doesn't sound like a kid movie.
Yeah, no, it doesn't.
Kid, not kid.
Sure, that was a kid's movie.
Let's move on.
Would you like to pass it?
Naruto honesty didn't like seeing Satsuki have that look in her eyes, as he really liked seeing her happy and smiled. So he decided to give some serious thought to what his new friend told him. Then started to think back to all the times he tried to ask Sakura out on a date whenever they both had some free time, but she would always turn him down and hit him over the head as her replied. You know what's coming, guys.
A flashback!
Flashback no jutsu!
Oh god.
Yay! Flashback no jutsu.
At the end of the day at the academy, Sakura was walking with slouched shoulders after she lost sight of Sasuke. She wanted to ask him out yet again. Damn, I must have just missed him, Sasuke-kun. Why do you reject my love? We're destined to be together, she thought with delusion. Naruto had just exited the academy when he saw the pink-haired girl. Hey, Sakura-chan, he called out to her. This made Sakura to gain a very annoyed and angry expression when she heard Naruto say her name. You want to get some ramen with me? He happily asked, wanting to spend some time with her. However, wham! Sakura glared at the downed boy as she just punched. No! Why would I want to hang out with a monster like you? She screamed at the fallen boy as she looked at him with disgust, before storming off with a mad and annoyed face.
Monster?
Yeah.
Apparently.
But
Don't think about it.
no, it would have been.
Don't think about it.
Bashfic, remember.
This is a bash fic.
Yes, but so easy to replace it with idiot, and it would be exactly the kind of shit she did at the beginning of the actual canon.
But it's a bashfic. We've got to enhance and exaggerate all of the bad qualities.
You know what I like? I like how Naruto is like, he remembered the last time she hit him, and then there's a flashback of her hitting him. Like, all I'm thinking in this scene is, and then he killed the dog.
And then he told me of its importance.
It will be important.
I remember when he told me of the chosen one. There will be a chosen one.
A chosen one. And then he killed the dog.
God, that's a great movie.
And then
Great movie.
Keanu Reeves killed the chosen one.
No, the chosen one didn't kill the dog.
So?
The guy in the flashback killed the dog.
Yeah, he farted at it.
That's still not going to stop Reeves.
Naruto could watch at the retreating girl as he could only sigh in disappointment and sadness while he rubbed his sore cheek. Jeez, that hurt, Tadabayo. He groaned out as he stood up and decided to just go by himself. Kai! Naruto could only remember such occasions more times he could possibly count whenever he tried to ask her out. To even simply greet Sakura, only to be answered back with a brutal punch to his face and or head. Though he really wanted to say something, to think of something nice about her. But each time he remembered any occasion, it will always be the same thing. This slowly made Naruto realize just what kind of girl Sakura was.
I just realized why Naruto is so dumb everywhere.
Brain damage.
Damage from Sakura hitting him in the face all the time.
Yep. This slowly made Naruto realize just what kind of girl Sakura was. Wow. You're right. He began as he gave one final sigh of realization. Sakura is a bitch.
What surprises me the most is that Naruto can actually think straight and process everything.
He soon admitted as he rubbed his face, remembering another more recent time when she punched him in the face. But wasn't the last one the last time that she punched him?
Is there another flashback?
More.
Oh no, it's just thinking on all of the times. It wasn't the last time.
That wasn't all the times. We need more flashback.
The Kyubi simply rolled his eyes to this epiphany of the blonde. Took you long enough to realize it. Oh God! The Kyubi has even started adopting the southern Speech and text.
This is perfect.
He then commented with a deadpan tone. Yes? Moving on. I thought someone was trying to say something.
No, they weren't. I don't think so.
Naruto mentally sighed at this. You don't need to rub it in, he replied to the Baiju. Satsuki, on the other hand, began to giggle again, glad that her friend was starting to realize the truth as it placed a smile on her face. Naruto-kun, I have to say that I envy you with how you have only one girl that has a crush on you. She honestly admitted as she tilted her body slightly and placed her hands on her hips again. Could I be crushing on him too? She then suddenly thought offhandedly, only to quickly shook it off when she realized, no, I can't be. We just met like this. I mean, it would be way too fast, and I barely know Naruto-kun, she thought before hesitating. But I have to at least admit, he is cute. She added in her
Haven't you
mind
known him like half his life?
as she blushed while looking at him with a smile. What was that, Cetris?
Hasn't she known him like half his life?
They've known each other since entering the academy, at least.
So yeah, like half their life.
Yeah.
And doesn't think she knows him well enough just because he didn't know her gender.
To be fair, she really doesn't know him very well. She doesn't know about the Kyubi at all.
He didn't know about that until like 10 minutes ago.
I mean, Naruto's never been the most self-aware person to begin with, so...
Yes, he is the dumb.
I mean, this is the kid who, despite using thousands of shadow clones, never noticed gaining even one of their memories. So...
See, when you put it like that...
Naruto in turn gave her a confused look. Huh? What do you mean? He asked, not understanding what the female Uchiha meant, before his brain finally processed what she just said. Wait, someone has a crush on me? He soon asked in excitement. This made Satsuki and Kyubi's sweat drop at the same time to the blonde's dense-headedness. He honestly didn't know. Everyone in the village knows it. They both thought in unison.
Shouldn't the Kyubi, with access to his thoughts, already know this?
I'm gonna need you to get all the way off my back about that.
Because all of the adults in the village have nothing better to do than gossip about who the Uchiha Heiress has a crush on.
I mean, obviously.
To be fair, that'd be sort of like random people gossiping about a princess.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess.
Then a light bulb appeared on top of Satsuki's head, as she gave off a cat-like smile at the idea that just came to her mind. Well, Naruto-kun, here's one thing you should know about her. She's been crushing on you since before the academy. She playfully got out while winking at him. Oh god.
I forgot that this was a fucking multi-pairing instead of a single pairing.
Naruto's about to assume that it's her, rather than even thinking about Hinata. That's my prediction.
It would be way fun if he thought it was, and...
That, or he's gonna be completely oblivious and think of someone that...
Yeah,
and
then
is a
roll with it.
possibility.
It's gotta be Choji. I knew it.
That would be like Naruto just thinks they're saying Choji?
No. Here's the thing. It's gonna be Shikamaru, guys.
Oh god.
He does like troublesome blondes.
No.
Yes.
God damn it.
Yeah.
God didn't do it, the beavers did. Alright, Naruto's jaw dropped at that as he began to imagine it. No way! Someone's been crushing on me for that long? He got out as he just couldn't fathom the fact that someone would even look at him without hatred or annoyance, let alone have feelings for him. How the hell did I miss that data bio? He then exclaimed as he felt like banging his head against the wall for not realizing that some girl actually was in love with him. There's a big leap between crushing on and being in love with.
Look, this was written by a literal child.
Yeah, kids generally don't know that.
I'd be more shocked had you actually known, Kyubi said with a deadpan tone. You knew too? Naruto replied as his annoyance finally reached its peak. What the hell, Databayo? He exclaimed once more. Why not let the Uchiha tell you about your true love? Kyubi responded with a joking tone, though deep down he really didn't want to say anything of this particular subject. I mean, how am I supposed to do so? He thought to himself with a hint of shame. After all, he wasn't just the source of all his pain, but he was the manifestation of negative emotions.
That is not true.
How would you know? You don't know what he feels. You don't know the pain he's been through.
He senses negative emotions, yeah, but he's not the manifestation of them.
Oh, though, was this written pre-Kaguya?
This was published in 2013, I think it said.
Yeah, never mind. That 2013 was back in the times where they were trying to do Inuyasha mirrors.
Yeah.
Like calling his chakra, what was it, Yuki or something?
They didn't know any better back then, and some of those stories.
Yoko. Holding me
Wait, they
Yoko.
tried to do Inuyasha mirrors? What the fuck?
Yeah, they call demon chakra. Well, they call them demons first of all.
And they called the tailed beast demons.
And there were usually lesser demons.
I remember that.
You know why, right? There's a fox demon in Inuyasha.
We just didn't have that many, that much else to go on at the time, I think.
It was like the Bronze Age era of Naruto fics.
Yeah. Interesting times. No, I like the one where he, actually, no, never mind. Continue the story.
It's like, I like this one. Wait, no, it was shit. I completely forgot.
No, I remember, I just don't want to, like, take up the time.
But before Naruto could ask Kyubi for anything else, said Uchiha interrupted him. You want another hint, Naruto-kun? Satsuki then playfully asked with a giggle, though inwardly felt bad for the blonde with not being able to figure it out. But before she realized it, Naruto dived straight at her, being careful not to toss any of the food into the air, and held her hand with a desperate look on his face. Yeah, of course I would, Satsuki-chan. So for the love of Kami, please tell me, Tadabayo. He soon exclaimed his answer as his face was practically in tears, while also being unaware of where he currently was. By this sudden action and the very close contact, however, immediately made Satsuki blush scarlet at what was happening. Oh, well... She tried to respond, but the blood in her face was making it hard for her brain to work any coherent words as she started to look from side to side, anywhere to not look at Naruto's face. Cute, she unintentionally thought. That was quickly halted when she realized the situation he was in. Wait, This isn't the time for that. I have to make Naruto-kun find out about Hinata-chan so that they could be together, not be lost in his really handsome... She began to state in her mind, only for her eyes to wander back to Naruto's blue eyes, and having her mind wander back into them, instantly getting lost in his gaze. He is pretty handsome.
Oh, God.
She then dumbly admitted in her mind as her blush became pink. Baka Sakura, you wasted your chance on an incredible guy. She then mumbled out, lucky that said guy didn't hear him. Naruto, however, tilted his head as he looked at the female in front of him. Hey, Satsuki-chan, are you alright? He asked as he got of the table without letting go of her hand and stood right in front of her. You feel a little warm, Dedabayo. He then stated as he placed a hand to her forehead as he looked straight at her eyes. The Kyubi could only watch this with a baffled expression. Wow. If it weren't for the fact I know that the kid is dense as a diamond, I'd say he's a total lady killer. He merely thought to himself with a sweat drop. And I haven't even done anything to his pheromones.
Oh God, no.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
No.
Yay, we got some Bijou-induced roofie type shit. I
Oh,
don't know.
yeah.
I forgot about that. I guess that my
It's a good
subconscious
thing
wanted
to forget
put
about
that.
it, which I also forgot about it, man.
Yep. I'd rather re-forget
Sorry,
that
I had
instead
to
of
mute
forget the
myself for a
weird
minute to
ISIS
scream into the
beheading
void.
videos. Between re-forgetting that or forgetting the ISIS MLG beheading montages from 2015, I'd rather forget this.
The fuck are you watching?
What
What
the
the fuck?
It was
Let-
when YouTube didn't remove
let-
shit and I
let's-
ended up stumbling across the ISIS
Hey,
execution
hey,
videos.
please stop talking about that.
Sorry.
This
Sorry.
is
Apologies.
going on YouTube.
Oh,
Dude,
shit.
let's
I
be
forgot
honest.
about that.
Soon enough, this game be fucking demonetized. That's the
I
rate
mean, I'm
YouTube's
not
going.
getting
Wait, it
monetized
hasn't
through
already?
YouTube. I'm not
hasn't
monetized on YouTube. I'm just launching my Patreon.
I don't think I'd be allowed on Patreon because of some weird moral turpitude bullshit, but yeah, I'll be quiet now. Let's get back to fucking listening to this shit.
He then added as he was honestly amazed by his container's natural lady killer skills.
Gil.
If it wasn't for the fact that the girls had long hair, black instead of white eyes, and a much more developed body, one would have mistaken Satsuki for Hinata that was in front of the blonde, as her body turned crimson red from embarrassment.
Oh Lord.
Naruto-kun, you're a bit close. Uchiha then just barely got out. Not that I mind that it... She then thought, instantly causing her crimson blush to return. This statement made Naruto instantly realize what he was doing. The blonde blushed and released her as if she was on fire. Oh, sorry about that. He got out as he took a step back, just missing the disappointing look on the Uchiha's face when the blonde had released her hand. Aww, but I wanted him to keep holding me. God.
Yep.
Satsuki then whined in her head while giving a cute pout, but that didn't last before her eyes widened as she realized what she just said in her head. Well, where did that come from? She then thought in a panic at
Where are you?
fully realizing her previous thoughts. Oh, it's no problem, Naruto-kun, she declared awkwardly as she still had a flushed face. So about that second hint. Well, she's shy. She then stated as she wanted to move on from this subject. Naruto, in response, gave a deadpan expression at the so-called hint. Okay, I'll need way more than that. I don't even know that many shy girls. The only ones I know are all fangirls. He shouted with pure annoyance as he thought Satsuki was playing with him. Though he knew deep down she wouldn't do that to him, so he didn't feel bad. Satsuki and Kyubi literally then smacked her forehead at the blonde's denseness as their eyes twitched with uncontrollable from annoyance. Trying to think how I should read this because it's both of them speaking at once.
Have someone help you. Like Smurf.
Do I have a Thank you for volunteering, Mandalore.
I did not volunteer.
Yeah, you did. By simply suggesting the idea.
I don't have a southern accent.
Oh no, I'll do that one.
See, I can pull off a very good, eloquent southern accent, especially when I'm talking about the War of Northern Aggression and how that son of a bitch from Kokomo is a fucking edgelord.
Bitch.
Keep on lording those edges.
But seriously, do I have a volunteer to read Satsuki's part here?
No.
Tia can do it. He's very good at voicing women.
Motherfucker, really?
I saw you try to be quiet there.
Get more in touch with your feminine side, boy.
Yes.
We ought to invite Color on.
Alright, on 3, start reading the Hinata part, and I'll read
Wait, I have to read it?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone else do the count.
3.
1.
Hold up. I need to get ready.
Motherfucker.
1. 2.
Where's the part?
It's on my screen. It's highlighted.
Like you both are gonna keep you both are gonna talk at the same time, essentially.
Yes.
Oh god. It's gonna be cringed.
That's the point.
Okay,
I
are
hate
you
you, man.
Okay, Mandalore, do the countdown. On 3.
1, 2, 3.
It's not a Hyuga, kid!
Good job.
Fucking beautiful.
That was
I
great!
don't understand why Naruto fell in love with her. She has the voice of an
More
angel.
embarrassing than voice acting or her getting fucked.
They both then exclaimed in surprising unison. Merlin says on YouTube, it's Morbin time.
Yo, what's up, Merlin?
How many people are watching the stream?
I do not actually know.
They came from my voice, that's why.
I do not have YouTube itself opened. I'm looking at the chat via OBS.
Okay.
At that point, Naruto just stood there with a stupefied expression on his brain, as his brain was slowly processing what he was just told. Then he felt as if a giant weight that read 10,000 tons fell on his head, along with another even bigger weight that had the word idiot on it. What? He shouted as he comically pushed off the weights of him. Satsuki then calmed herself down as she nodded. Yeah. Well, I'm not saying you should just go out with her. I'm just saying that you should at least give her a chance, Naruto-kun. She told him with honesty. I mean, unlike Sakura, who is just obsessed with Sasuke, Hinata-chan's been waiting patiently and without giving up hope that you will someday notice her. She then admitted in a more serious tone. Sorry, Hinata-chan, but he really did need to learn it immediately, or you would have to suffer waiting without knowing if he did like you or not, she thought, hoping that the Hyuga would forgive her. Naruto saw still too shock about this that he really didn't know what to think. What?
He was still too
English is
shocked
a
about
hard
this.
language.
Okay.
Just replace W with S and saw.
Yeah, it got inverted.
Saw. Would you like to play a game?
But upon hearing that Hinata had been waiting for him to just notice her, well, he completely ignored her entire existence, made him feel like... Bet you feel like an asshole now, huh, kid? Kyubi then remarked, finishing what his container was feeling. Now you shall suffer for your consequences and wake up already! Wahahaha! He then added as an attempt at a joke. His joke fell flat.
Yes.
Very flat.
Naruto only dropped his head to the Demon Fox's statement before he suddenly started to think about the time he seen Hinata and started blushing. But he then finally recalled that she was probably the only person in their age group, before being friends with Satsuki, that actually saw him with kindness instead of the regular hatred or annoyance. Wasn't he friends with Shikamaru and Choji?
Sort of.
He wasn't antagonistic.
Yeah, like, not exactly friends, but, like, they tolerated him. Like, they let him, like, Choji even let him eat some chips. At one point.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Crap. I've been ignoring such a nice girl. He muttered, now feeling depressed and guilty at this revelation, as he could have made a friend much sooner if he wasn't so ignorant. Satsuki immediately noticed this as she placed a hand on his shoulder. It's all right, Naruto-kun, she reassured as this got the blonde's attention. Maybe you can make it up to her at one point, she suggested as she was soon deep in thought before looking at Naruto, who just nodded as he began to think of ways to make up to the shy girl. Could I ask you something, Naruto-kun? You don't have to answer if you don't want to. Why is this stated as a question? The Uchiha then asked all of a sudden in a nervous tone. This snapped Naruto's self-induced trance as he paid full attention to Satsuki. Yeah, sure. What is it that you want to know, Satsuki-chan? He asked as he tilted his head in confusion. Satsuki began blushing when she saw him tilt his head to the side. So cute. No! Pay attention, Satsuki! She thought with seriousness. She took a deep breath as she knew this question could be considered very private and even invasive to the blonde's privacy. I wanted to know, when your bloodline activated, how did it just come into existence? She soon asked. The Kyubi remained quiet as this was Naruto's decision. It's your choice, kid. Hope it's something he won't regret later on, he thought to himself. This slightly startled Naruto by the sudden question. Well, it's a bit of a complicated issue, and I don't think I'm at liberty to tell anyone, but I promise to tell you when the time is right. Okay, Satsuki-chan? Naruto responded with his own question and request. Satsuki frowned, but she already knew that it really wasn't a thing that someone could just answer. Naruto-kun, I understand. But since we're friends now and I expose my secret to you, so I just thought that... She started explaining until she started to hear their stomachs growl again, causing the Uchiha to sigh. Alright, Naruto-kun. I'll respect your decision and hold you to your promise to tell me later. Now come on, eat up. We'll need our strength for today, she then reminded. Why would she think they would need their strength for team assignments?
Maybe she heard about the Guinean test.
Even if she had, that happens the next day.
Not for all of them. I thought that was only Kakashi.
Kakashi's the only one we know about, I think.
I thought the rest had already said they passed.
I don't remember. It's been too
No,
long.
no. The contents of the other tests are unknown.
Okay.
They all at the same time tell the Hokage who passes and who fails. So it's not like they did the test and instantly went to Harrison.
I will trust Zero's knowledge there. Because it's been way too long since I consumed any kind of Naruto content.
For the better.
Probably.
What, you don't watch Boruto?
Nobody watches Burrito.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch Burrito.
I don't know. I heard it was such a great show that they made a whole manga and anime series about his dad.
Shut the fuck up.
Should I start replacing Naruto with Burrito's dad?
Sure.
Yeah.
Do it.
But wait, no. Things are it's a different universe. He can't be Burrito's dad.
No, he can as long as he's paired with Naruto.
Burrito's dad from the original universe. There you go.
No, I'm not gonna do that in this one.
Fair enough.
But you like your lists, and that's almost a list in and of itself.
If I ever do another Naruto fic on the streams, then I will replace Naruto with Burrito's dad.
All right.
But not for this one because I hadn't up to this point. Naruto nodded in agreement as he sat back down. Yeah, you're right. Let's eat. I'm starving, he responded in excitement. The two then looked at their respective plates of food. Down the hatch, they said in unison as they began their prolonged breakfast. But just as Satsuki took a bite, she realized something after swallowing. She placed a hand on her mouth as she recognized the taste. Oh no, this is... She thought as she looked at Naruto, who already took a bite and also already chewed and swallowed. Whoops, she then muttered with a sweat drop. Naruto blinked a few times before his face slowly began to turn completely dark red. Hot, 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 hot! He yelled multiple times as he comically started.
Just reminded of the fucking South Park style clip.
As he comically started to breathe fire from his mouth while he held his burning throat with both hands. Water!
They figured out how they can give the civilians a weapon.
He soon exclaimed his request with a scratchy voice.
This is the real secret to how the Uchiha learned fire jutsu so early.
Obviously. Satsuki quickly got up from her seat as she went to the fridge, rummaging through it. Juice, meats, eggs, aha! She responded as she took out a carton of milk and shook it well to hear it content. Alright, it's not past the expiration date, she said as she handed the milk to Naruto. Here, Naruto-kun, drink this, she then ordered. Naruto instantly took the carton and drank the entire thing in quick, big gulps, while calming down in the process as well. When he finished and placed the carton down, he started to breathe heavily as silly-looking milk mustache was on top of his swollen red lips. Mind explaining? He then asked with difficulty thanks to his swollen lips. Satsuki couldn't help to giggle at both the milk mustache and the red lips. Sorry about that. You see, the Uchiha have a certain way to prepare themselves for learning fire-style ninjutsu before learning their hand signs. You could say it's a family tradition, so to speak, and you just experienced it, she explained. Naruto stopped panting as he continued. By feeding them extremely spicy food that could permanently burn their tongues? He then asked. Satsuki blushed a little while chuckling with
that's why the Uchiha don't have any taste. Why do you think I fell for you, of all people?
Oof.
Oh
God
shit.
damn.
Ouch.
That is fucking savage.
Jack McZipper on YouTube says Among Us.
Oh, God damn it.
Nice.
Yeah, ironically, it worked as our mouths gets used to the intense heat. She soon admitted. A bead of sweat trickled down Naruto's cheek from the heat. Yeah, and I think I already know what happens when it doesn't work, he joked out. Satsuki couldn't help but giggle at the blonde's current state. Here, at least wipe away the milk mustache, she offered in a motherly tone. Oh no. Oh no.
What?
One of his love interests is using a motherly tone.
I was wondering where the Oedipus complex would
She's
come in.
getting ready to play Dream.
Sweet.
Yes, she is.
Not just that, it's his spiritual sister, presumably.
Keep reading.
Don't
This might
forget
be
that.
useful for
Let's,
the Harry Umbridge fic.
Let's
No.
continue.
Make
Yeah.
Umbridge Harry's sister.
Make Umbridge great again. Oh gosh, I forgot you making that 0.
Soon.
How close are we again?
What, for me to do that?
Yeah.
Well,
I'm sorry, I just went on the chat. I see like Edo, like balls assing Edo when he's reading it. Edo just replies with the fucking picture of ass.
my Patreon app says 2097, but I will not know until August the 5th if it's actually that much.
All right.
I thought I wasn't sure if you were talking about money there for a second or a date. Like,
No.
No, I'm talking about money.
George Lowry on YouTube says it's MILFin time.
Oh, God.
This is getting out of hand.
Now there are 2 of them.
Technically, with her former reincarnations, she's most likely a DILF, not a MILF.
Nice.
Ignoring
Bro,
that.
she's fucking dumb.
Unless her former reincarnations were all women.
Yeah,
Well,
oh god.
Chick in the
We're
story. I don't know
Madara
if
and
Madara is a-
Hashirama chicks.
You just hit it really,
Takes
really
wit.
well.
Wait, was their final fight just the most violent and awkward 3-way with Kurama in the middle?
Yep.
Naruto needs to ask that.
Just have a fucking chapter here. Fucking Naruto main character visits an alternate universe.
And
And
without
what, he just
thinking
sees
it, she
us
took her
as inside of
mother's
that
old
universe?
handkerchief out of her pocket and began wiping Naruto's upper lip, causing the blonde's entire face to turn red from the close contact. Satsuki stood there watching for a moment, seeing this as she wiped Naruto's upper lip. But once she saw his expression, she instantly figured what he was thinking, as it was now her turn to have her face blush bright red. She then quickly shot back, and she placed her handkerchief back in her pocket, and began flail her arms. Sorry, Naruto-kun, I wasn't thinking. She explained her reasoning as she quickly tried to think of something to say. Here, why don't I make you something a little less spicy? She then panickingly offered to try and get rid of the awkward situation between the two Genin. It took Naruto a few minutes to recover from this little exchange, but he soon did and blinked a few times. She's pretty adorable when she panics, he thought without really thinking what he was thinking. Not your average Uchiha, that's for sure. Very interesting, Kyubi then admitted. Next thing you'll see is her trying to be flirty and seductive towards you, kid. He then stated, not really thinking it would happen.
Next time on Uchiha Heiress remix.
Not your average Uchiha.
She's not like those other Uchiha.
Naruto was still a little baffled that he didn't really pay much attention to the Baiju. He then soon shook his head, rejecting the offer from the girl. Nah, it's alright, Satsuki-chan, he responded before turning back around in his seat. He then grabbed the spoon and took another bite of the special curry, cringing at the delicious but deadly flavor. It may be hot as hell, but it's really delicious, he commented with a happy grin, then continued to eat more. And thus Naruto gains a fire affinity. Satsuki's eyes went wide again as she watched the blonde eat more of the curry. You think it's good? But it could really burn your tongue, she asked, noticeably worried for him, though she couldn't help but blush at him complimenting her cooking. Again, Naruto only shook his head in rejecting the order. No, I really mean it, Satsuki-chan. It's really good, Databayo, he replied yet again. Then he lowered his gaze at the food while having a very sad yet happy look in his eyes. And this is the first time anyone's made me something to eat besides Ichiraku. I really want to eat it. Besides, you making it for us, it would be rude of me not to be able to finish the food you took time to prepare, he said with a very sincere tone as he then flashed her his famous goofy grin, causing Satsuki's blush to grow darker. Besides, there's no way I'm letting food this good go to waste, even if it is spicy, he declared happily. Damn it, Kit. Too nice for your own good, Kyubi then remarked while rolling his eyes, as he could literally feel the heat that Naruto was feeling that began to sweat from it. Now I gotta heal him from the heat, he added in annoyance as he began to fan himself with his tails. Satsuki couldn't believe it. Not a minute ago, she watched Naruto screaming at the top of his lungs, but now he was scarfing the same food down, all the while refusing to let her throw it away for something else. She could easily tell he still couldn't handle the heat, but he continued eating until his plate was clean. He really eating it. All of it. Even I wasn't able to eat even half of it when my mom first gave it to me.
Why does this sound so wrong? He's eating it.
He's eating all of it.
And then her mom gave it to her.
She couldn't even finish half of it when her mom gave it to her.
God damn it. This is everybody's fault here.
She then got out as she couldn't believe it, the food that she once suffered for days to get used to. The blonde was eating it like natural. Although Satsuki was worried that Naruto may end up having his taste buds messed up by the intensely spicy food, she couldn't help but felt a strange warmth filling it up as she watched Naruto continue eating, and once he was finished, she picked up his plate and placed it in the sink. Naruto-kun, you really liked it? She thought unintentionally, and she felt pride for the cooking her mother had taught her. You're such a sweet guy. I was such a fool not to realize it, she then praised in her head with honesty. Naruto was still smiling that it made him look a bit creepy. Satsuki-chan? He then got out suddenly. At the sudden mention of her name made Satsuki's heart skip a beat, as Naruto turned his head towards her with a plate in her hands, wondering what he could want to tell her. Yes? She soon responded in a stuttering tone. Naruto's smile was turning one that was being forced as sweat began to fall all over his face, as he had to held on the table as he almost fell over, as he looked at the female Uchiha. Got any more milk? He then painfully asked, as it was clear that his mouth was burning worse than before, with it looking like he was about to pass out from overheating.
Is this still chapter 2?
Yeah.
We're almost done, though.
Yeah, we're almost done with the chapter.
Over 1 million words, remember?
An average.
Well, I say almost done, but this is insanely long.
It's an average of 20,000 words per chapter.
Jesus Christ.
Which, despite how cringeworthy the fic itself is, is kind of impressive.
Me throwing up a gallon is also impressive. Doesn't make it good.
Or so you say.
I almost succeeded in doing the gallon challenge once.
So if you do one chapter per stream, that's like 65 streams.
I mean, at least it's not as bad as this.
I like how it's like completely easily accessible for you to reach this page.
Oh god, she's up to 725.
She's still writing?
Oh yeah, she updated her profile last month.
Oh god.
100 fix?
725 fix.
It was only like 600 last time, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was not. It was below 600 last time I looked at it.
Does she have another inheritance cycle fic?
I am not gonna bother checking.
Check.
Oh, it's also a new poll. That's not the same poll that she had last time.
You should vote.
You should check.
In my new story, Gods and Company read The Sea of Monsters. Should I have Zoe, Nightshade, and Phoebe the Hunters brought in? Or even Leto and Rhea? No to Leto, yes to Zoe, yes to Rhea. No to Rhea, yes to Phoebe. No to Zoe, yes to Leto, no to Phoebe.
She's doing ratings, oh my god.
Please vote for up to 4 choices. And it's a blind poll, so we can't even see how it's going.
Yeah, don't vote then.
Wait, what was the poll? I'm sorry, blinked out for a second.
Are you sorry though?
No. What was the poll though?
In her new reading story, should she bring Zoe Nightshade, the Huntress Phoebe, Leto, and Rhea into it?
That's a very interesting. Like,
why would you even consider it all of them when it's reading The Sea of Monsters?
What?
The Huntresses don't get introduced until Titan's Curse.
Why would he fucking bring Leto and Rhea in when I don't think they even have any appearance in the Percy Jackson series?
Rhea gets mentioned.
She gets mentioned, yes, but she doesn't appear.
Yeah, I think Leto gets mentioned as well, but again, doesn't appear. Anyway, back to... Satsuki blinked for a moment as her brain tried to process the request. When that was done, her face turned to pure chalk. What? She got out as she quickly ran back to her fridge, rummaging around for something to douse the flames her curry had created. Luckily for Naruto, Satsuki had a single-serve bottle of milk left. Here, take it, Naruto-kun, she said as she gave the remaining milk to the blonde. Naruto quickly took it and began to drink it. It didn't completely cool him down, but it was good enough that he wouldn't pass out from the intense heat. Thanks, Satsuki-chan. He soon started panting. Once Satsuki saw that the blonde's face had more or less returned to normal, she gave a sigh of relief. Why did you eat that? I told you it was too spicy, and I meant it. It was my family's curry. The Uchiha's fire-style training curry. She then, panicking and worriedly, asked. Naruto just looked up at her from his seat, one arm lazily draped over his chair, while the other, holding his empty milk container, sat on her table. I just told you, didn't I, Satsuki-chan? I really wanted to eat what you made me, he simply explained, as one of his true smiles appeared on his face.
Ah, yes, the fake smile, no jutsu.
I'm starting to think true smile needs to be trademarked. To that answer, all Satsuki could do was stare at the blonde, not believing that what he had just said, or rather, what he had just repeated. It was such a simple and stupid reason to burn his mouth with the clan's special curry, a clan that specializes in fire-style ninjutsu no less. Suddenly, Satsuki started giggling, which once again turned into full-on laughter again. Naruto stared at her as she continued laughing, one thought floating through his mind. She looks so carefree when she laughs like this. Her laugh seems so bright and warm, he thought with a smile as he really liked seeing this side of the female Uchiha. As Satsuki calmed down, she looked at Naruto with her own smile on her face. Alright, maybe next time I'll make it mild so you don't almost die from the heat, she then kindly responded. This shocked Naruto at the possibility of getting another home-cooked meal. While he did like the ramen from Ichimaru's, this was the first time two had ever gotten food from a friend, so that's why he had to make sure this was real. There's going to be a next time? Naruto thought with hope appearing in his heart. Sasuke happily nodded to what she possibly knew what the boy was thinking. Of course, that is if you want to do something like this again, she said with a blush while removing her apron and placing it on the hall closet. Sasuke walked towards her bedroom to get the last of her gear. You'd better hurry up. I doubt you'll have time to get home and to the academy in 10 minutes. She soon reminded as she saw the clock on the living room. Oh, also, we better act like asses that hate each other at the academy, so we don't draw any unwanted attention to ourselves. She then added, though she disliked the idea of acting like that since they were now friends, I'm calling it here. The kiss is still going to happen.
Yeah, you're probably right. I don't doubt it.
Naruto gave a sad smile as he felt the same way as the female Uchiha, but knew it was for the best. Of course, Satsuki-chan and I would definitely love to come over again, Tadabayo, he said happily to the offer before something clicked in his head. Then his face turned to panic. Crap! I really do only have 10 minutes until class, he thought to himself. Satsuki was fine since all she had to do was place her Sasuke's clothing and do a hand sign and she was finished getting ready.
I'd also like to predict that they'll sleep together after that kiss.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I'll take that bet. I agree with Mand. That's the only time you'll ever hear me saying that.
No, it's not.
It's a good thing the YouTube video saved that because I'm gonna take the audio from that and I agree with Mand every time you say something.
That, in fact, she only lived 5 minutes away from the academy also helped her while you have to run back to your crappy apartment, huh? Kyubi stated with a smirk on his face. Naruto wanted to retort, but knew he didn't have the time, so he made a run back to his apartment, grabbed some more ninja tools, and get to the academy before he was late. You're right, Satsuki-chan. I gotta get going, he replied as he quickly stood up. Without even thinking, he gave the female Uchiha a goodbye hug and left through the window, dashing towards his apartment with no time to waste. On the rooftops. Naruto was running at full speed while jumping on the rooftop so that no one would spot him leaving Satsuki's apartment. You realize you just hugged her, right? Kyubi then remarked with a smirk. Upon hearing this, Naruto stopped mid-step. Unfortunately, his was in mid-air, too. Ah! He screamed as he came crashing.
What's the problem with hugging someone? It's like,
There
I
isn't.
hugged you, now I am betrothed.
That's how the Japanese think, yeah.
Yeah, you kick him in the crotch and then you have to get married.
Well, Peach, since
No,
you
that's how you get
requested
pregnant,
it,
dude.
Peach, you requested it, so I am sending it to you.
He screamed as he came crashing down on a dumpster. Luckily, it was empty, so he didn't land in the smelly garbage again. Ow! That fucking hurt! You did that on purpose, didn't you, Databayo? He roared in pain. Nope. Did that on your own, Kit. So how's the feel of her massive chest? Kyubi stated before asking that question with a smirk.
Oh my god.
Did you just send it to fucking Mansmurf?
No, I sent it to
Send it
you
to him.
only. Do you want me to
Send it to him. Send it to him. Actually, post it in Myth's channel. Do it.
Okay. I was doing this in style. I was writing this shit out.
Dude,
in
I can't believe
silence.
you got that shit done so fucking fast.
You mean the pain from having crashed down a 2-story building and land on my chest on this trash bin? Then, yes, it fucking hurts! Naruto replied as he completely missed on what the Baiju meant as he came down said trash can. Baiju just sighed as he at the completely oblivious host's head. I meant the girl's chest, you idiot. You've already seen it naked a couple times now. Kyubi then thought with deadpan face.
Pervert.
Bloodline Dojutsu clan girls always seem to get the massive chests or butts for some reason. Must be the jeans, he added.
It's the jeans they're wearing.
Seeing that he was far enough from Sasuke's apartment, Naruto then quickly made his way through some busy streets before he felt another one of the clones he created hours ago dispel. Wow.
Smurf, I'm ashamed of you.
My clones really don't know the meaning of holding
And
back,
proud.
he commented as he held his head. Well, he felt really dizzy from the rush of knowledge flowing his brain, but nevertheless, he continued moving as he couldn't afford to be late. Meanwhile, back in the Uchiha's apartment, Satsuki in turn stood in the spot she was in, trying to figure out what Naruto just did before it came to her. He hugged me. She blushed crimson as she rubbed her arms, smiling a bit in a goofy kind of way. He does care for me, she said in realization. Thank you. Thank you so much. Naruto.
What does hugging?
Maybe.
Yeah, I hug you like you're a friend. It doesn't mean that you have fucking feelings.
You won't have to be alone anymore, she said as she gave off a very goofy smile and having a small blush as well. She then remembered what Naruto had thought of what had happened between her and Sakura, as her imagination running wild, and a thought bubble began to form on top of her head. Satsuki's imagination. Oh no.
God damn it, man. God damn it.
Oh no.
You're welcome.
Naruto had finally thrown Satsuki onto her bed as she had a slightly frightened face as Naruto held her in place. What are you going to do with me, Naruto-kun? She timidly asked, not even trying to defend herself. Naruto, on the other hand, smirked as he held on both Satsuki's arms while licking his lips.
What the
What?
fuck?
Licking his lips.
What do you think, Satsuki-chan? He began to say in a deep, low tone that sent shivers down Satsuki's spine. I'll give you what you wish for, he declared as he lowered his head towards her. Satsuki's eyes widened so that she looked at the male closing in on her. What I wished for? She asked with a trembling tone as fright and excitement filled her soul.
Take notes, guys.
Shut the fuck up.
This made Naruto smirk again, as he liked seeing the Uchiha tremble. I can tell that you are beginning to like me. No. You want me to take you, don't you, Satsuki?
To Flavor Town.
He revealed as he released one of his hands and started cupping her breast with it, rubbing it ever so gently.
What the hell?
Satsuki gasped at the touch, but didn't try to stop it with her free hand, as it instead grabbed her bed tightly. We just met each other, Naruto-kun. She got out in a meek tone. Naruto merely
I'd like to
purred.
remind everyone this is 12-year-olds.
Naruto merely purred to that as his shirt suddenly vanished. Then
Right,
why?
this needed to be more awkward.
Then why is it that you sound like Hinata-chan? He asked as he gave her breast a squeeze. Satsuki gasped even louder than last time, not realizing that her own clothes suddenly vanished as well. She barely got out. Just end your facade and come after me. It's what you truly desire. To be a true woman. Naruto then said in a tempting tone.
The fuck?
He's making a woman out of her.
Satsuki kept repeating as she then let out a loud shout of ecstasy. Yes! She then suddenly screamed with pleasure. The bubble began to retreat itself back inside back of Satsuki's head as she continued to stay stasis as she kept the dazed look on her face. Yeah.
He fucking hugged her and it led to this. What the hell?
Yeah. That would be nice. She dumbly got out while drool began to fall from her mouth. Me and Naruto-kun. She got out as her eyes became dazed at the thought of such a thing happening. But then another thought came to mind when she remembered something the imaginary Naruto said. Like Hinata. She got out as her bubble came out again. Satsuki's imagination, part 2.
Part 2?
Electric Boogaloo.
Eep! A meek female voice got out. The single arm pinned down Satsuki soon turned to the source of the sound and gasped at who it was. Hinata-chan. She got out in shock and embarrassment at being seen in such a way. The bluish Hyuga could only watch as her hands were on her cheeks while they were crimson red. Well, what are you two doing? Hinata asked as she couldn't stop watching. Naruto smirked.
I wish this was one of those fics that continues in the fucking proud tradition of cucking Hinata.
Naruto smirked to turn into one of a predator as he let go of Satsuki and stalk at the blushing Hyuga. Once he was right in front of the embarrassed girl, he used his hand and raised her chin to look at him.
What the fuck?
We were waiting for you, Hinata-chan. He declared in a deeper, even more tempting tone of voice.
Even more tempting than before?
Yes.
Oh my god, he's so hot.
Who fucking wrote this and thought, damn, this is amazing. This is the best thing that's...
You know Peach is getting moist right now.
Yes.
Go fuck yourself.
Me? Hinata struggled to say as her face turned even darker shades of red, while not noticing her clothes had vanished as well. Then Naruto picked her up in his arms and went back to the bed as the poor girl was too embarrassed to even do anything. He placed Hinata next to the Uchiha, liking the view of both beautiful girls side by side.
Dude, this is so fucked.
As he suddenly had a container of whipped cream in his hands.
What the fuck?
Plot thickens.
Now, where were we? He asked the baffled Uchiha as he shook the container.
Seriously, who the fuck thought that this was a good idea?
Said Uchiha, meanwhile, didn't even try to move from the bed, as she was too dazed while she was lost in thought, that she didn't even realize that she grabbed Hinata's breast while said girl moaned with ecstasy, or the fact that she too was now naked.
What the hell? Why did they have to go into this so fucking deeply, dude? Why?
I'm ready for bubble number 3, dude.
Why? Has failed now.
Fuck you, Peach, and fuck you, man. I got muted in Heart of the Force for 5 fucking hours.
You're welcome.
Fuck you.
When the bubble retracted once more into Satsuki's head, she began to giggle in a very perverted way. She got out as her drool only increased in volume. Then she finally snapped out of her self-induced trance as she cleaned her drool with her sleeve. Wait, she then began as her face turned dark shade of red. What the hell am I even thinking something like that? I've never thought of anything like that before. She exclaimed in a panic, shocked that even those kinds of thoughts appeared in her head. I gotta get ready! She then added as she began to change into her Sasuke disguise. At the academy, in one of the classrooms, a shy little girl suddenly sneezed, wondering who was talking about her as she was worried a certain blonde's future. Naruto-kun. She shyly got out while twiddling her fingers in a cute way. Thus ends
Okay,
Chapter 2.
if you've got to describe the character as little girl, you shouldn't be writing lemon content about them.
Yes, that is a good rule.
You're 100% right. That was a thing.
That was the thing I don't want to fucking see again.
Sounds like you enjoyed it.
We enjoyed the chat.
I enjoyed getting Smurf muted for 5 hours.
I thought.
Hey, I got muted for 5 hours
Oh,
too.
speaking of Smurf.
Yes.
Before we stop the chat,
Oh, I'm not stopping it yet.
yeah, you should read out Giga Primaris's raging.
Peach made a challenge to me to comment about how
we were all in here.
yes. Hey, challenge. Hey, I went bad on Peach, and I typed that shit out in about the in about 10,
Now that
15
we're
minutes.
done with the chapter, I have swapped the YouTube screen over to Discord, and I'm going to read what Smurf wrote.
For context, this is a first-person POV of one of my insert characters.
No context. Naruto POV. I'm going to fucking give you an earful, God. I thought, growling at the shit circumstance of being in another thrice forsaken dimension.
Myth, you have to copy Smurf's accent while you do this.
No, I don't. Getting my ass kicked by my dad and fighting another somehow more insufferable Sasuke than the most god-awful fan archetype was bad enough. And now I was dealing with another cursed thing I never wanted to know existed. Kurama was flat thrashing around while two figures were atop his head, both in a state of near undress as the armor they wore was severely damaged from combat. The raven-haired one was a woman, judging by the large bouncing tits as her hair flailed all around her anthe. The man behind her was thrusting with all his might, both somehow still on top of Kurama's head. Looking closely, she was fucking hot, despite having her hair messed up and being covered in dirt and blood. She almost reminded me of Mikoto, with much bigger tits, and had obscenely potent chakra that crackled and thrashed with each thrust from her lover. Worse than the horrible realization that two people were fucking on top of Kurama's head, the wails and cries of ecstasy from her carried over Kurama's roar of desperation as he tried to throw them off. But none of that rivaled the terrible truth I knew was the case, no matter how much I wished to deny it. I was watching Hashirama rail female Madara on top of Kurama, and that bitch was enjoying the roughness. I just stared in morbid curiosity, transfixed by it like I was watching a train derail. Peripherally, I wondered if the two would recoil in horror if they realized they were brother and sister, and that Kurama would technically be their brother in some accursed manner. Hagoromo really was a shit father. Make it stop! My Kurama screamed desperately in my mind. What sounded like a wailing keen come from him. Stop looking, please, he begged. Fucking make me come, you fucking Senshu. Madara howled, reaching behind her back and jerking on Hashirama's hair, his cock sliding back into her as he growled audibly from his hair being grabbed.
Fucking madness.
Edo just puts in Jen, I'm scared.
I just thought, what is the most retarded dialogue I could use to put an end to it? Ah, there we go.
Good job. I'm proud.
All
of you.
right. For next week's stream, I think it's finally time to return to Breaking the Faith.
No.
No.
Yes.
The faith.
No, man.
It's fucking unicorns and shit. And
Yes.
unicorns.
Yes.
Like,
Man,
unicorns and shit all out. Like,
It
Game
ain't-
of Thrones, A Song of Ice and Fire does have unicorns. Also, no,
Yes,
we should
but not
read
like
one of those
generic
Twilight.
fucking- Not
No,
generic
no.
fucking unicorns.
Next
Not,
week.
not,
And centaurs and shit.
no, we should
Man.
read An Inheritance Cycle from Radiant Arabian Nights.
No, that's going to be the very last Ranfic that I read.
10 years down the line.
10, more like 50.
But no, next week will be return to Breaking the Faith. And then the week after that, I will start an Aragon fic.
You know what?
It's not going to be a Ran Aragon fic, but it's going to be one that was suggested a while back called...
Is that the one I suggested?
I have a great idea.
It's called Eldenaria
Yep, that's it. It's
By-
less the plot.
by
The plot's
Aragon
fine.
S. Bromson.
It's more the writing.
You know what we should do?
What should we do?
We should watch Game of Thrones Season 8, baby!
No, no.
Zero,
Season 8!
zero, go dunk your head in a vat of acid.
No, just stay in Canada. That's a
It's
worse
got the
punishment.
best writing. Yeah, Season 8. Battle of
Yeah, in the same
Winterfell.
way,
But
yeah, in the same way that parchment is good for me wiping my ass with.
alright, I'm getting ready to end the stream. I just want to say to anyone on YouTube, the link to my Patreon will be in the description below the video. And I appreciate any help that
Yeah,
you're
please
willing
go
to
to
give.
Patreon because you know this shit isn't getting monetized.
Yeah, no shit.
Especially